Welcome, everybody, to the KQ Show, episode 31, Instructional Guide for Your Listening Pleasure. 31 episodes. We made it. Yes, you, both of you, all of us. Anyway, for those new to the show, hi, I'm Kyle. I'm just a small-town boy with a big heart and what some would call an abnormally large Cheeto finger painting collection. As a young lad, I had what my parents would call the gift of gab. I love conversations with interesting people, and most of all, just having a good laugh. I'll be chatting with business owners, musicians, artificial boysenberry extract, and yes. Episode 31 brings us the holiday, Halloween, scary Boo Fest episode, Talking with Batman. I sit down with die-hard Batman enthusiast, John Kingsley Edwards. We discuss his acting career, his stint as a stand-up comedian dressed as Batman, and we have a random and too long accent battle. Now go on ahead and enjoy that show, dear darling.
'Twas Monday the 20th, in the warmth of June. No distraction in the sky, only the moon. Welcome to the KQ Show. That was my poem. You can delete that if you'd like.
Not even a little bit. All right. Episode 31, KQ Show. Previously was recorded for 3 hours.
Yep.
And somehow it didn't work. So I'm here with Mr. John Kingsley Edwards. Welcome back again.
Hey, I love taking multiple takes of this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're joking about it. Something happened not even actually the first thing. We had to start again.
Yep.
Something happened. 30 episodes, not a thing ever has happened.
Yeah.
And somehow, I was listening to it back, and I was like, I think I may be able to salvage some of this, and just terrible. It was just in the background, it sounded like just in the background, somebody just going,
The whole time just sounded like we were underwater.
So I'm like, all right, well, yours, because your mic just got, I don't know how, but it shut mine off, and yours was 100%, and mine, I was talking to that one, so I don't know what the hell happened. But
Obviously, not a lot of people like hearing me talk, so I understand when mics are like, hey, why don't we cut this out real quick? You might lose viewers on this one.
it just went from 1 second to normal to swoop. I try to edit it. I'm taking spots because you have a bunch of good stories and stuff, and I'm like, all right, this is just not working at all. So, well, welcome back in.
Hey, here we
welcome
are.
back in. We had talked before that. We've talked at Backer, but never really actually had a one-on-one conversation, even though we did spend 4 hours the other day talking. So
Yeah, we don't remember any of that, but that's fine.
No, I think it just at one point we just said, you know what, we're just going to drink through it. So
I believe we did just drink through it.
I think so. Listening back, I was like, what were we talking about?
Yeah, I forgot I
was
was here for about 20 minutes.
Well, you did leave several times.
For 20 minutes?
Yeah, you went into the attic.
You have an attic?
I don't, which
Where
is
was
concerning.
I?
Well, that's questions we all have.
They
So
had some weird mannequins. They were all in weird positions too. It was weird.
those are Asian children, and they make Nike. So you can move it closer to your
were
face.
moving.
You can move it closer.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so scooch it a little bit more. You can straighten it out a little bit. Yeah.
Straighten it out right here. How's
There
that?
you go. Yeah. We don't want no sound, but as long as you can get semi-close to the actual little thing here.
Yeah, well, last time you yelled at me about how loud
Well,
it
you
was.
put the whole microphone in your mouth and just hummed for 6 minutes.
I was trying to rap, but that's okay.
Well,
You said you'd sign me for an iTunes account, but that's all right.
well, until you're 13, we're not sharing the password.
You know what? I don't like that we share passwords still because there's a lot of OnlyFans stuff going on. A lot of dong.
I'm telling you, man. That's why I had to cancel my OnlyFans.
Well, you can't. Then how do I still have these accounts?
Oh, no, my own. It was
thank
just,
God. Thank
it
God.
was only holes. It was a really weird butthole thing. I didn't like it.
I understand.
And it was the Cub Scouts website, too. I didn't get why I had to load it there.
Yeah, rusty trombones are always different with jazz players. You know what I mean?
Well, I understand that. so what's new in the world of Mr. And did we talk about where'd the Kingsley come from?
Yeah, so me and my buddy David Colvin and I, our friend got pregnant, and we decided to go over with a bottle of scotch to their house and have a drink with the dad and all that. And of course, she's sitting at the table. It's Tillamore Dew as well, as usual. And we just decided to start hey, so what's the name of your kid? If you have a boy, what are you gonna get? What would you name it? What would you? No, stop talking. What would you name it? Oh, no, the whole mess. And so she pulls out this names book, and we decided all right, well, we're gonna flip through the boys section and then just put our finger on a page, and whatever we land on, that's what you're gonna name your boy. So David Colvin flips it, and he immediately gets Chico. And I'm
I mean,
like,
that's not bad.
I'm like, oh, well, she's Jewish, which is even funnier. You have like just Chico,
Yeah.
I mean, oh God, it was so funny to me. I was laughing so hard at that one. And then I flipped open and I went, Kingsley. And I went, what a white bread name that is. Just Kingsley. Well, you flash forward to when I started doing this whole attempt at acting and stuff. Well, for us, 32-year older crowd, John Edwards ran for vice president of the United States and cheated on his dying wife and is known for an $800 haircut. The other John Edward is crossing over with John Edward, the guy who spoke to dead people. Remember that?
There's a lot of John Edwards.
There's a lot of John Edwards.
There are a lot
out
of
there.
older.
Even South Park had a biggest douchebag of award for John Edwards, all right? So, I mean, yeah, granted, a lot of people probably think I am anyway, but I don't need the award.
Right, you don't want to go into it them already knowing.
I'm not going to put it on my manistol. I probably would, just because a lot of people think of me, whatever, my ego, stroke it. But so I decided, my full name, my real name is John Joseph Edwards. So that's my, name after my grandparents, all that. And I was just like, you try to like envision how would you see your name? Like if, oh my God, I got my first little acting gig. I'm going to be huge. How are they going to see my name? And then like John Edwards, like wasn't getting anything.
It's very bland.
It's very bland.
Like
Like Edwards, John. Okay, whatever. So I sat there and I went like, think about those names, those big actors that have like that name that like rolls off the tongue, like Neil Patrick Harris, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Philip Seymour Hoffman. It's a 3-name thing, right? So if I'm John Edwards and I want to go by John Edwards, John Joseph Edwards is still just like
too many J's, yeah.
It's still like I'm about to get called into my priest's little meeting thing. You know what I mean?
Or like you just got like they're introducing the new priest.
Literally. Yeah.
John Joseph Edwards.
John Joseph Edwards, the first of his name. Yeah,
now sing with me today.
Like you go to John Joseph Edwards for your accounting needs. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Right? That you go to that guy. So I sat there and it just immediately I was just like, well, because it was on Facebook too the first time, because back when Facebook started popping out, my friend David was actually into Facebook. He's not anymore by any means, but he and I decided to make that joke where he's David Chico Colvin and I'm John Kingsley Edwards. And even before I did all this stuff, like people walking up to me are like, "Hey, what's up, Kingsley? Kingsley." First thing I thought of, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, all that stuff, Neil Patrick Harris. I was like, John Kingsley Edwards kind of rolls off the tongue a little bit. Little J.K.
Yeah,
Edwards.
it sounds very like a medieval royalty kind of.
I mean, that's straight nobility right there.
Yes.
My name is John Kingsley Edwards.
Yes, I do feel like you're about to intro like a show about something.
Here comes J. Kingsley, like all that stuff, and it landed, and I just wanted to go with it, and that's the moment I went with John Kingsley for submitting stuff. Is the moment that I actually got some traction on. A
so that's when you started, like when you use that name. That's when you started to actually get gigs, or
they brought me into modeling off of it. And I never had a modeling profile by any means, and I can tell you right now, I'm probably one of the worst models you could ever have because I don't stop talking or moving.
Sorry, so just sit.
Well, I mean, even like the modeling world, it's like so. I walked into a couple modeling sessions. I did one catwalk. I've done a shoot for Esquire and a shoot for Gucci. Pretty sweet. I'm gonna toot my own horn on those. I had a great time, but they were group shots, and like the Esquire one didn't even make it because the other two models didn't even show up in Vegas. It was a nightmare. But walking into these modeling things, like I walked in and I'm looking around and like, you're nervous walking in.
Yeah.
And I open the door and I'm looking around the room and I'm like, I'm actually one of the best looking people in this room. Like I was really cocky about it. I was like,
so they went for more.
I was like, oh hell yeah, I look great. Well, here's the trick to modeling. You actually have to know what you're doing because these people had the angles, the looks, the facial expressions, everything, and I'm over here looking like a goofy goober.
You're just trying to put together a Rubik's cube.
They're like, look like you're having a great time, and I look like I'm on a roller coaster. I'm like,
nice, but you settle down a bit.
So it's like the modeling thing just never was a thing for me. I mean, the catalog thing was fun, just because I can walk in a straight line, surprisingly, even when I'm hammered. Found that out, but
not bad.
But that was just not my world. But John Kingsley Edwards, oh yeah, they were like, who the fuck is this guy? And then I walk in like, oh, all right, well, yeah, all right, fair enough.
You're like, oh man, I should have just used my regular one.
Well, yeah. So then I just, John Joseph Edwards. I could go by JJ, all that stuff. My fam calls me Jack and all that. But, John Kingsley just sounds like someone, this guy might have something important to say. Then you're shortly disappointed after the first 2-3 sentences.
No, it's like a long time ago I made because my middle name is actually Joseph as well. So I'm Kyle Joseph Quick. And
KJ?
A long time ago, I watched Two for the Money, which is a phenomenal movie.
Great movie.
It's a lot of people. It's a random gem. If you're not into sports gambling and stuff, like that's what it's all about. But like when he changed his name, he's like, your name's no longer Brandon Lang. You're John Anthony.
Yep.
So he called John Anthony the $1 Million Man. So like this is way back when I was at like Best Buy and I was like a manager. I started to go by John Anthony just for the hell of it. Mm-hmm. And then when I like a long time later, fast forward to when like DoorDash becomes a thing. So I'm no longer at Best Buy, but I had fired a lot of people at Best Buy. I was a manager. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at my my DoorDash, order some food. I see that it stops like the DoorDash. I recognize the name. I'm like, okay, I had an employee by that name, but that's, there's a lot of that, of a single person's name, whatever.
Yes.
I see this DoorDasher pull a block, like the road behind my house and sit there for like 5 minutes. Then my food gets delivered. Threw that bitch right in the trash.
Yeah,
Because this is before Ring and everything, so I couldn't even tell who delivered it.
No, that's...
I was like, I don't even know what by the time it got, I was tracking it, and then sure enough, I'm out the window, I'm like, that's that motherfucker.
I'm not going to do that.
I'm like, absolute. Because, if it was like, Ring or whatever, could have like, oh, great, I'm going to leave. Nope. But yeah, I'm like, peek out the window. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's the dude I fired. Yep.
But that's not even one of those positions where you're like, all right, you know what? I'll roll the dice. Whatever. It's not like a 5-second pickup rule thing where it's like 10 seconds a little longer.
It's 5 minutes all by himself.
This is 5 minutes by himself and somehow
beat off into my tacos.
Oh,
pretty much.
Honestly, I feel like he just kind of like did a shake weight workout, got really sweaty, and then dipped his balls into it.
Oh, for sure. So that's what I had to start. I just changed my name to on DoorDash, everything else just to John Anthony.
Yeah, oh God.
But then I'll forget, like somebody will call and be like, yeah, I'm looking for John. I'm like, because I answer phone, I'm like, this is Kyle. Like, I'm looking for John. Like, that's him.
Hi, is this the Krusty Krab? No, this is Patrick. Like, hang up the phone.
This is Kyle, but I answer for John. So we talked a little bit about last time about how you got like into your into the acting gig. So we got to hear the Bruce Wayne story. We got to the Batman story.
Yeah. So it's just funny as hell because it all started with, I've been a Batman fan my whole life. Like when I was like, first Batman came out in 89 and like the next Batman Returns comes out in like 92. And I was born in 90. So like 93, back when Laserdisc was dope, we had the Laserdisc of stuff. And we're also living on military bases. So we're like 5 years behind. So Laserdisc is like, oh my God, Dolby surround sound. Look at this floppy disk.
So you only were exposed to things because I think you talked about, but your military, you moved around a lot.
Yeah, yep.
So like
it's back in the 90s. It was straight up 10 years in the back. Like on my clothes, the term hand me down does not exist on a military base. Just that's how you're getting clothes. Like you can't. Once they grow out, you have a new shirt. It's not a hand-me-down situation. So I had like stripes and plaid shorts and stuff. I was basically like a walking autism test. Like just, can you fix the colors here? Like it was a nightmare. Like I look at the pictures of me as a kid and everyone like, I wish you guys could see the photo album because then you'd be like, how did you grow up to be like this? Well, I'll show you. Like
it all started with this outfit here.
As you can see,
it was a half Foot Locker employee, and
so like one of the famous family photos we have is we're outside of the gazebo in like ~95, Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, and we're all in suits and stuff, and I'm wearing this like pink and white checkered jacket that's fitting perfectly for a 4 or 5-year-old. I got a red bow tie on. I'm looking fresh. All right. Right, so I was real jacked up about this up until I was about 12 and went through the photo album and found out that Mike had it, Chris had it. Like Chris even took like his like those portrait photos that family has, like on the wall. Yeah, he took his in the jacket. I'm like, oh, what the shit?
Just every 3 years, the same picture.
Yeah, I'm like, you guys seriously? What, we run out of film here? We're just copy and pasting. So that was always fun.
So you say but you said electronics though, like so you were So I didn't think about that. So if you're on, you were physically on an actual base.
So up until 1997, I was born in 97. I know that first of all, my mother's moved like a good 35 times. My dad was a colonel in the Army. So I was born in a military. I think we were all born on military bases. Frankly, I don't know for sure where their hospitals were, but Mike's in Sacramento, Chris and Jeff were up in D.C. Mary and Matt were born in different parts of Hawaii.
Damn.
Like, right, that's 2 different spots. And then I was born in the middle of buttfuck Kansas, the federal military prison, Fort Leavenworth, where like I get my hair cut done by like war criminals with razor blades. And everyone's just like, yep, just a little higher. I'm like, yeah, you're going to slink on a 5-year-old. Like, I'm waiting just, But, yeah, so we grew up on military bases the whole time. And that was it was so awesome. I got to tell you, it's not even bittersweet. It was all awesome to me up until I was 8. When I came and started living in the real world, that's when it started sucking. Because on a military base, you knew the rules.
Yeah.
Like, you know what you can and can't do.
And that's all you had, right?
That's all you had. And then, but they're like in Fort Leavenworth, our backyard, it was like a full out like military base style. And in the middle of this valley is like 6 tennis courts, two roller hockey, 1 skating rink, a pool, 4 playgrounds on either corners with basketball court. Like it was all just one. So anytime you went out and played on the playground, there's 40, 50 kids at all times. So you're always playing tag. You're always like winter would hit in Kansas, just like South Bend. But the snow piles.
Did you get a lot of snow in Kansas?
Oh my God, it's aggressive.
I don't understand geographically where Kansas is.
It's like the dead center of the United States.
Okay, so it's still kind of in that little snow.
Yeah, it's there. Yeah, it'll hit. Like, we'll get every bit of snow, like, weather. It's like 110, and then it's like -4, and then there's a tornado.
I was about to say, that real
Somehow
tornado.
a shark has a chainsaw. Like, that shit happens in Kansas.
Well, it happens.
So, and what happens?
Shark with the chainsaw. You got to watch out.
So, I mean, but we, like, during winter, we'd even, like, build, like, ramps and shit. Like, and these are all military kids. Like, so we're like, launch it. Fucking send it. We're like, there's no way that this is a loop and we're trying to sled down with enough speed to loop around, right? So many kids ate shit and broke their arms that day. And I was only 4 and we're all like,
You're just in line.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's like, so back to like, that's how it just was back. And that was the 90s. Right, that was back in the 80s kind of stuff I hear from everybody growing up in the 80s is like, yeah, just rub some dirt in it. Like,
I think that was still the early 90s, yeah, until the internet came out and you could look up stuff.
We grew up eating dirt, so
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
amazing. But yeah, that's where technology was just insanely behind.
So I don't know. So like that's. I'm just trying to kind of envision it. So like you're on when you're on a military base, you can't. You don't get to leave the base,
It's not
or
Amish, Jesus Christ.
I don't know how. I mean, I'm like for your electronics. For your electronics, you just go to just the local place, or
No, that wasn't that kind of thing. Like, absolutely, it was totally available.
Okay, I didn't know. Like I was like, nope, you don't get to leave. I thought it was like a weird.
No, it's not like a federal rule or anything like that.
I thought maybe you were into some type of cult I didn't know about.
I mean, we could have been. We ran it if that's the case because everyone saluted me. That was the colonel's son. God damn it.
No, sounds like you might
salute
have.
me when I'm 5 carrying a blanket around. Like,
I want another juice box.
somehow I'm holding my head up.
Just bobbling around.
Big ass head. I'm like, you salute me, sir.
You don't know me.
You know me. Started doing the gritty. I didn't even know I was doing it.
That's too soon to do the gritty.
Listen, soon?
You can't gritty until you're 6.
First of all, I can't even gritty, period.
No.
But so we were behind. That's how, in a big family, I'm the youngest of 6. So by the time 1994 rolls around, kids living everywhere. We're jumping all over the place, military bases. We didn't really have we got like the Walkman when it became like fancy. We had this yellow jam box that we still had. Takes like 10 D batteries.
It was like JVC or something.
Oh yeah, double cassettes on it.
It was like $9 for just the batteries to run it for like a half hour.
For a half hour. And then the plug was only like
it
wasn't even like a foot or 2 feet. It was like a foot and like 3 inches. It was enough just to make you like have hope but piss you off.
I feel like they were working with the battery company for sure.
It came like 10 equalizer switches on it, all that. Yeah, we have that still. But that was like Christmas gifts that would pop up. Like we had a Sega and then we got the Sega CD, right? So we had that stuff, but it was, old wooden bunk beds and, we don't need to have a big TV. 1993, Notre Dame, Florida State. You know that wooden TV that everybody had? I think it was an RCA.
Yep, we had it too.
With the glass doors on the bottom. And it was just like a 36-inch, right? This was the gourmet of TVs when it happened. This is that new Kia car that everyone has out there. This thing was the bee's knees. We bought it specifically for the game. We did one of those things. And that TV lasted all the way up to about 2001, where we realized we're like, shit, we're tired of not having a remote.
Yeah.
Like,
well, plus I think at that point, like, everything started going widescreen.
Everything went huge. And
everything was going widescreen. When you have a square TV, you're just watching and go, well, this is terrible. I'm missing.
We jumped from that TV to the 64-inch Sony Square TV with the speaker in the bottom.
Yes.
That big one. And then that sucker went to like 2014. Everyone's like, flat's the way to go. I think my mom's the only one that's got me right on this one. Those big square ones, those are bigger TVs. I don't care if you have a 70-inch little widescreen thing going on here. That Sony TV was the size of your TV and fireplace.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It was awesome.
It had it was a whole, because we used to sell them at Circuit City. So when I worked at Circuit City, it was 2003 when we sold those big ass.
That's when we got it.
The tube TVs, dude. They sold up to like a 40-inch Sony tube TV, and it was 325 pounds.
It was like $4,000 for this thing.
Yeah, we'd slang them all the time because I get 15% if I sell that warranty.
Exactly. Well, then I'm sure my dad went to you.
Oh, I mean, I didn't.
He was a Best Buy guy. So if you're at Circuit City,
I didn't go to Circuit City until I went to Best. No, actually, I went to Best Buy in 2004.
No, we had it.
Yeah, because I was.
We got it in 2002.
Yeah, because I turned 21 at Circuit City. Mm-hmm. Then I went to Best Buy. So yeah, but Circuit City was such a. I mean, start talking about Circuit City stories.
It was like Staples, but Wish.com.
Dude, it reminds me of 40 Old Virgin when they're all hanging out. Like
absolutely.
The stuff we would get away with was just bananas. But
yeah.
But no, keep going. So sorry. So you're talking about. I got
you're
off
good.
track there.
So just the electronic stuff and how we operated. Like we had what we needed, and then of course you can go out and have a good time and all that. My dad raised us. Actually, both my parents raised us. Like, if you want to get some money, you got to earn it. Like, we're not just going to give you money. We didn't have allowances. Yeah, of course, you could walk up and be like, can I have $20 to go to the movie, all that stuff. But you had to earn it. So, of course, Mike is 10 years older than I am. So I'm 6, he's 16. I obviously have no way of making money by either raking leaves or rubbing grandma's feet. So I rub grandma's feet often for free. And it was a weird fetish. So
it's kind of weird if your grandma's rub my feet and give it $10.
Oh, remind me. I got a great grandma story for you.
I don't know if I want to remind you after saying
that's a terrible segue, but I want you to know it's going to be one of your funniest stories you've ever heard.
All right, grandma story.
We'll come back to that.
I'm going to write it down.
Write that down. So, so basically we never had any of that. And there were no phones, no Facebooks, no social medias, all that jazz. So, back in my day. So it was a lot of fun when stuff happened like that. Like we got a new TV and there was just one TV room. And in Leavenworth, we had a 3-story, like old 18th century house. It was awesome, like 13-foot ceilings. It was huge. And the boys had the 3rd floor. All of us. We had 2 rooms, two sets of beds. I had this 7-foot loft that I fell off constantly, but I loved it. And it was my brother's bed was supposed to go under it, like one of those things, but he moved it out. So I had to climb a ladder for the first 4 years of my life to get in my bed. And I lived in this fort of solitude. It was amazing. I would say fortress. It was a fort. There were cannons, and I had stuffed animals at the guard. Okay?
This is my whole setup. I like it.
It was amazing. A lot of ghosts in that house. But electronics, everything like that was just so far behind to us. Like how much we would complain about CD skipping, right? Yeah, well, we didn't know. Well, I didn't, at least. My older brothers and siblings probably did, but I didn't know that you skipping CDs until 5 years after it came out. I was like you can hold it in your hand and it won't skip. Like what?
Oh yeah, the little.
What do you mean?
With the 8-second skip protection.
First, it was that blue gray RCA one that still skipped.
Yeah.
No matter you shake it, it's like. And then that Sony handheld one, the white one with the clip, that was the bee's knees right there.
Yeah, the Sony one. Once you got that one, dude, it was 15-second skip protection. You could
do you the whole phase of us going from Walkman to Walkman to handheld CD player to non-skip CD player to athletic CD player to the first MP3 to come out.
So MP3, I went through a mini disc. I bought a Sony mini disc.
Oh yeah,
it was like so small.
Yeah.
I remember taking it on my first plane ride.
Oh god, what was the little one where you could order like you could buy it for like $4 and it was like one song and you snapped it in the little toy.
Yeah, it was like that was like the first kind of iPod almost.
Yeah, it was really close.
Internal memory.
But you had to have like 40, 50 of these CDs for like 20 songs. Like,
yeah, that's I remember the because I was in radio in high school, so like we had they had this mini disc digital player, how they record everything. I was like, oh, it's crazy. So I bought one. It was fucking money. Like I loved it. Like I could put like 100 songs on each mini disc. It was digital, so like I could just delete it and put it on again. Yeah. Like and you didn't lose any quality.
JPEG.
Yeah, I was like, man, technology is so awesome. And now, like, literally, your phone just does absolutely all of it.
Like my phone's like, I downloaded a whole playlist based off of what you listen. I'm like, well, thank you, phone.
Now, you were saying with Batman. So how long after the gap with Batman? It's like, did Batman come out? Like you said, it was a gap.
Yeah, so 93, the Batman came out, and I watched it one time. So
the original?
The original Michael Keaton Batman. I watched it one time, and then I developed this weird phase for like a year and a half where I'd watch that and The Land Before Time every day because I was like 3 and 4 at the time. So everybody would leave the house. My dad was at work. All my siblings were at school. My mom's downstairs. My mom was like a sculptor, like of paper mache stuff, Santa Clauses and whatnot. She's really good at it, but she would do that as her hobby. Like make sure, she'd do her mom stuff. But by the time I was around, she was a pro at this stuff. So she's just doing a hobby thing. And she's 2 floors below me. I'm up on the 3rd floor. And I would just sit I would put a blanket, like a big quilt, over the top of a laundry basket. And then I'd sit in it and come down on the blanket and then flip the sides and then flip the top over it. So I'm like snug in a laundry basket, fully locked in. And I'd have like my milk or like a snack, and I'd have my blankie that I got.
You're just all tucked into this little basket.
I would just sit here like this. And my mom would like, want some milk or something. I'm like, no, I'm good. But will you change the movie? Fuck, I got to watch Land Before Time. Look, I'm done with Batman. Give me Littlefoot. All right? But that's, for like a year and a half, I just got stuck on Batman and Land Before Time. And just Batman the whole time. The whole time I'm watching, I'm like, God, it'd be cool to fly. God, it'd be cool to fight people. Like, you ever sit there and like, catch yourself and you're like, I'm Batman. Like,
oh, every movie I ever watched. Yeah. Like, I don't care how many times I thought real claws were going to come out of my hand watching Wolverine going, I just make the noise like I'm really fighting.
Yeah.
But that's me now as an adult. As a kid, it was
like now I'm like the technology's there. Like,
you're just in the kitchen going, I'm going to put this knife in here, man.
It's right here. Just
you think, look, it's like a switchblade.
Look, if I shove it in far enough, they're going to just stitch it up, right?
Press a button, slides out.
Ah!
But hell yeah, dude. Jumping around the house and everything when you're a kid.
So that was just, that's where like all of my imagination and creativity came from, was that time frame from like 3 to 5 before I got to school, kindergarten and stuff like that. I'd still get out at noon, and go home. So I had so much time to myself in this giant house. It has back staircases and stuff. And I'd watch Batman and Land Before Time, and I'd either be a dude in a rubber suit fighting crime or a fucking dinosaur. And my dad just started grounding me from then on. He was like, stop being Batman and a fucking dinosaur for 2 seconds.
I'd rather Batman because
then Jurassic Park comes out.
Oh.
And I'm a huge Land Before Time nerd, and I'm over here watching Jurassic Park, and I'm seeing a Velociraptor. Are you kidding me with this? Like, like I literally practiced these noises since I was a kid. You actually looked at me like, shit, that was
pretty good. That was pretty good.
Without having any audio.
It's the hard thing to do with that like weird thing. Yeah, that thing. When the kitchen scene?
Yeah.
I watched that in the theater and I was like, I was so scared when it's running and then it was the reflection.
Yeah, so even then, when that came out, then I started getting into Saturday Night Live and stuff. And Jim Brewer did a whole opening sequence with Jeff Goldblum, and he's like I was like, I can do those noises, and then he did like a thing. It was amazing. And then that, just sidebar on that moment, I went to Jim Brewer with my buddy right after COVID started getting out. He was down in the Helium Club in Indianapolis.
Oh, okay.
And bought front row seats, all that stuff. And like, we're literally, it's just like a hemisphere stage kind of thing. We're right on the end right there, like touch the stage. he kept, I'm over here like, I'm like, just, I love you, Jim Brewer. Like, goat boy. Like, are you kidding me with
Dude,
this
Goat
stuff?
Boy, I forgot about
Dude.
Goat Boy. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
the
Goat Boy was legit.
Like, just, so, like, as you can tell, I'm a huge, just Jim Brewer guy. And the whole show was hilarious. And he kept looking at us. I'm like, this is, like, he's right here. Like, this is so cool. Afterwards, got a picture with him, walked up. He's like, hey, it's what did he say? He looked at both of us, me and my roommate, Chris Hillman. He goes, hey, I just had to make sure, like, every time I said joke, I looked at you guys. If you were laughing, then we were good. And I was like, Jim Brewer's talking to me. Oh, my God. So then it walked up. I was like, Jim Brewer, huge fan. I got to tell you, like, I loved all the early stuff. And, of course, who doesn't like Half-Baked? You know what I mean? So he's like, yeah, you want to take a picture? I was like, yeah. He's like, what do you want to do? You want like hug? Or what do you want to do? I was like, can we hit that? He was like, oh, you want to do that? And then I have the
little
picture.
Dilophosaurus?
Yeah, I got the picture on my phone of both of us going, like
that's
this.
awesome.
Which is a full circle moment for that. So, but yeah, no, it's everything like Laserdisc, electronics, everything's behind. And I got stuck watching those movies. We didn't have a lot of movies that we owned. We'd rent movies every Friday, have pizza night, all that stuff. Like my mother would make her own pizza. Like that's how we wouldn't order pizza. That's how we would do this kind
It just feel like a 19. It sounds like just like 1950, like right after the war.
Oh
like
yeah,
that
no,
type of.
this is straight up like military. Leave it to Beaver. Like
That's kind of what. Yeah.
like mom's at home, make sure the house is in order. Dad's at work. We have enough food. Pantry's filled. We had 5 gallons of milk in the fridge at all times. A gallon a day was gone because of how much we drank milk in that family. This is back when 2% was just the only milk.
Oh,
So
that was it. Get that Dean's from Martin's.
oh god, it's not. Don't get me started on milks. Danes is a joke, and you know it.
That's all we had. I don't know.
But either way, it was milk every day. Like we had everything, and so everything was locked in. That's all we thought about the whole time. And then, once you get older, there's a car. There's, internet sensation. There's new pants. Oh my god, parachute pants when they came out. No idea what the hell that was going on.
First off, we called them hammer pants.
Well, that was back when it was cool for about a year and a half.
Yeah, well, Hammer, then he was making music, and then he forgot to pay his taxes, and he went bankrupt.
And then we
he stopped
realized, I was
making
like,
music.
we probably shouldn't be too legit to quit.
We were still Vanilla Ice-ish, but then rap music started to kind of take off, I feel like.
Yeah, well, the peak was Vanilla Ice, Go Ninja Go. I mean, obviously.
Dude, when he popped out, I remember seeing that in the theater, too. I was like, he was like at his peak of his success.
What was your first
I was
movie
like,
in theaters?
First, Ninja Turtles 1. First movie I remember seeing in theaters.
Ninja
Turtles 1. And that was like...
The first one. 1990. It came out in my weekend, just so you know.
So, I mean, I would have been...
You were in a movie theater when I was born.
Oh, yeah, dude. I was born in 83, so I'm like 7 years. So I was about... That's the one I remember, but here's even weirder. 92 Jurassic Park came out. So I remember seeing that when I was like 9, because I was like... It was a little too scary to be like... Because I was like... The scenes were like... I was like, oh, dinosaurs. I love dinosaurs. I was like, oh, cool. But those scenes... They were
real.
Dude, that was scary. The first technology. Like, Spielberg did it right. Like, it was...
The dude getting run through...
dude, when the T-Rex is shaking,
like, are you kidding me?
You're just watching a human just get ripped apart by dinosaurs.
Just sitting there like, that's what would happen?
Dude, then when the scene, I'm telling you, in the kitchen, man, I was so freaked out when it's like...
The tap.
When it's walking... Yeah, when it's walking...
The tap. Oh, my God.
Licks that little spoon, and then it drops. Like, oh, yeah, that shit was crazy. But
well, that's like... So, like, that time frame, like obviously, so Land Before Time was like 88, like Batman was 89. That's to give you a hint. I'm in 93, 94 watching these movies, and like that's the only thing I could watch. Or the Muppets. I grew up on the Muppets, period, as you can tell. But like that time frame, like 93 to 95, I started watching I'm still stuck Land Before Time, Batman. But then like Jurassic Park was introduced to me, then Lion King, then Toy Story, then it turned into like somehow I'd end up watching Stripes with my brother, Bill Murray from the 70s.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, it's about that age.
But then I'd also get like History of the World Part 1, Mel Brooks, and then Robin Hood Men in Tights kicked in, and then then Twister kicked in. This is how I grew up. Like Down Periscope. Have you ever seen Down Periscope?
Yeah, you're naming all the movies that I've watched when I was...
These are all amazing movies. These all happened to me in a span of 2-3 years. And the moment I started learning that I could do these skits, like Nitro from Down Periscope, like a little tingle, like go ahead, sir, like all that. I did that with my dad. He pissed his pants laughing. And the moment I got that happening, like Night to Roxbury came in, Liar Liar came in, Mrs. Doubtfire. I'm over here like, okay, so it's okay to be fucking out there. Like we could be goofy and in normal life. And then of course up until I was about 24, I hadn't had figured out how to smooth that out. I was just like the goofy kid. Now it's swag kind of thing. I ain't gonna work.
But do you feel like that helped you like get into like that? So just practicing that and everything got you into the acting? Is that kind of what rolled you into
like
it?
the whole thing was my number one goal of all time was just to be in front of people. I think that my two biggest talents that I have in my life are actually reading people and getting you to make you laugh somehow, some way. So you can be over the top, cross the line with a joke, and of course it's like, oh dude, like no, this is just a joke. Like I find the middle ground right there. So like there's so many times like my brother has one leg, Chris has cerebral palsy, all that stuff. So in our family we didn't even view a handicap, right? They Notre Dame degrees, they got families, they're living great lives, and we joke about it all the time. They joke about me being a joke all the time too, which of course, if you looked at my resume on paper compared to them, yeah, you go ahead and you'd see him as John Joseph, not Kingsley. That's John Joseph. Kingsley you want to talk to. Joseph, like, oh, this guy. So
so the stand up. So you mentioned like you kind of wanted to get into that. Then you kind of mentioned how that kind of rolled you into the Batman.
So the whole main goal of everything that I ever wanted to do, the biggest joy that I have, like I said, two things that I got about me is I can figure out how to read people, and I'm going to make you laugh at least once. I want almost any person that's ever met me, I swear to God, I've gotten you to laugh once or close enough, or you just fucking hated me. I completely understand it. Trust me. I
got the 1%ers.
Yeah,
there's 1% of people that just totally despise me.
It
could be up to 10% depending on.
I could be too much, but that's my favorite one is when I actually walk into like a spot. Maybe I'm a little too loud, and you can see someone kind of like side eye you next to you, like Jesus Christ. And then about 10 minutes later, I'm like, this, like catch on, like he's a Ravens fan, and Lamar dropped the ball, like fumbled it, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, seriously, you can run fast, but you can't hold the ball. And he'd be like, I know, right? And then now we're taking shots together. So, but that's where that's number one. Number two is straight up, I live for the laughter, and if there's anything I can offer, anything in this world guaranteed, like you put me in any position, anywhere, at any time with any person, there's going to be a laugh somewhere. And that's me just being around people all the time. That's all I wanted to do is just make people laugh. Like Jim Carrey, Robin Williams, Steve Martin, Bill Murray, all these people, like just, you see them, you're going to laugh. Right. So that's all I really wanted to do. And I wanted to get into stand up. And I did a couple of open mic nights over the Dewdrop. And my buddy Joe Tidd's the one that's taken off with all this stand up comedy stuff. He's just straight at it every week doing all this. And yeah, no, I'm way behind. I've only done stand up maybe 4 or 5 times total in front of a crowd. And these open mic nights, I think one of them, yeah, I got some good laughs out of it. 2, maybe 2 jokes hit, and then 3 and 4, like
just bomb,
just straight bomb. Like you're trying to try jokes, but you're trying to read it how you wrote it down specifically, because like when you were writing it down, now you're overthinking it. Like it just, so everything started changing when my feelings, like, because I'm like, man, I can write these things, I know how I want to deliver it, but I can't do it. I don't know how to do it. Like, and of course, open mic night's only 5 minutes, and I want to be a storyteller. I want you to literally just laugh at this whole story that I have for you, because I swear to God, almost every story I'll tell you is 100% accurate. All of them are true about exactly what happened to me. So, and that's how my life's been crazy all over the place, because just like exactly that moment is that when I'm sitting there, and Joe's been, Joe Tidd of DIY Comedy, Ed Reyes, all them boys, holler at them, DIY, do-it-yourself comedy, check them out. So Joe's always been so supportive about pushing me to do this and keep going. You have to do it. Dean Jernigan, he's a radio host for some bullshit show. I don't know. He's going to hear, if he hears this, he's going to be so pissed I didn't say his radio station. I love it. So, they kept pushing me to keep trying this. They said that like my stage presence is there. It's just, if I don't get you to laugh, ego shot, goodbye. Like I didn't recover in 5 minutes about it. So I didn't do a lot of stand up overall. And then DIY Comedy comes together, and they put on their first show, and it was the superhero roast of Batman. And Joe I don't know the whole story. I know Joe contacted me, But he put together this whole people of being each superhero, right? So we had like a black Superman that was Tone. We had a Mexican Captain America. We had like a tall ass Moon Knight. Bane was there too. Like we had everything. So he called me up because I have anyone that's followed me on Facebook or anything forever knows that I'll dress up as Batman randomly for a Notre Dame football game. And then I'll throw the voice. It's Batman. That kind of thing. So that kind of went on. And then Joe comes out and he goes, dude, we're doing a superhero roast of Batman because Batman's the only person that doesn't actually have superpowers, right? Mm-hmm. So we're gonna have
rip him up.
Yeah, we're gonna rip him up.
Yeah,
and we want you to be Batman. And I was like, all right, wait, let me get this straight. Like we're doing a roast. Like people are gonna get up. They get like 10 minutes. We're gonna roast me, and then I get up. And how long do I get? He goes, dude, you get as long as you get. You just have to get through everybody. I was like, all right, now we're talking here. You're telling me I get to dress up as Batman to get on stage to roast other superheroes, and now I can do like a little raunchy.
Yeah.
Like, cause like all the time. So like during that show, like I get up there and it was, like Big Daddy when he put on the sunglasses and he's invisible kind of thing. Well, I got up there and of course I'm a couple cocktails deep. I'm drinking on stage, but I'm walking up to the stage. I've been nervous, like counting down each person that comes up, and it gets to me, and I'm walking up to the podium, and I don't know if the booze or if it's Batman or whatever. Like immediately, my luck hits, and I had all my notes on an iPad. I have a video I can show you actually of the opening. I found them just for you.
Oh, I'm down.
But you can see that I get to the podium, and I'm looking at my iPad, and like. It's freezing, sliding. The notes is closed, and then it did one of those things where it hit it, but it only loaded half the page, so the notes I just did weren't showing up. So I'm sitting there at the podium for this is all in a span of 30 seconds. I'm like, oh my god, all my material's gone. Then it pops up that we kept, Brian, rest in peace, Brian was Robin. He, slid in a joke that you're good at technology, and I was like, no, that's you. And then somebody laughed and I just stared at them as Batman. And just the stare in the face that I got this laughter. And I was like, okay, this is where it's okay to be goofy and go over the top. I was like, and then the notes kicked in and I was like, all right. I was born a poor black oh, that was Superman. And Superman's a black guy.
Yeah.
Immediately takes off. And then just went through this whole thing. I made that line up. I didn't make it up. It was from The Jerk with Steve Martin. But I was just like, this is going to line up so perfect because it's Bruce Wayne, rich guy. Mm-hmm. Now Superman's black.
Yeah.
And he was making jokes about being a poor black guy. It's a whole thing. It lined up so much. And then the next thing that happens is Mexican Captain America. I'm like, and next up is Captain America. Oh shit, I don't have the subtitles on. Everything. And then I said something like, I know you're getting tired of people making fun of, your color. Oh, sorry. ¿De dónde está? I did it just, and it just went through it, and I just everything flew through. It was because the whole thing.
You got a problem.
It was on the towel, actually.
It was good. Yep.
See
what you did. You just said it.
That's my luck right there. See, that's the iPad.
By the way, I just spilled beer on both sides of his body. He was excited. He spilled it onto the towel.
Oh, yeah.
And then he rotated the other side.
It's called an Irish blessing, sir.
Yeah. Well, you've blessed me sofa several times there, probably.
Your sofa shall be blessed from here into eternity.
It smells of the light of the Coors.
Oh, a bit of the hop for the stud.
Why does it smell like beer? I don't know.
I was supposed to whistle.
So it's full of foam.
We'll get there. So yeah, that happened. Had a great time. Of course, during the ending, you can see the alcohol start kicking in. But it was a great little just the feeling of all of that was so cool to me, and it unlocked a lot of crap where I'm like, you know what? Just get out there and fucking do shit. You know what I mean? Let's see what happens. Conveniently in the crowd was a casting recruiter. Walked up like, hey, have you ever tried being an extra out of Chicago, CineSpace? I was like, nope, never thought of it. 2 days later, I was on Empire and then had a good 9-month run. Just shows, movies. I did Try the Chicago 7, can show you that clip. But that was a 2-week shoot in Chicago. Got nominated for an Oscar. Thank you.
Hold on. So if the movie,
I win an Oscar.
for real?
No,
I didn't know how it works.
I don't, even get my name in the movie.
Sometimes if they put a Grammy for best blah blah, but then all of a sudden like you get some dude that would like press one key, he goes, "I get a Grammy."
No, it's a Grammy. No, I didn't even get credit like in the movie. I just got paid to be there. That's what extras are. Extras are in the movie, but like there I am. That's how.
So you're not like at the bottom, not like a John Kingsley key grip.
No, that's my buddy Mike Vole on the night the movie came out had a projection movie out in his yard, and he actually took the movie poster, and then crossed out somebody and put John Kingsley Edwards on it and made it like a full blown movie poster.
That's pretty.
I have it at home. It's amazing. So it's real. But no, that was like it was so much fun. And then we had the Box Chicago. We had this talk show set up. My buddy Keith was coming up with the way I describe it is like the male version of The View, right? So Keith's a gay Black gentleman, very, very awesome and everywhere. And he wanted to talk about how it was like for him growing up in Chicago. And then we had some other people from different lifestyles that grew up in Chicago, all that stuff. And, we had an immigrant that was a part of it. And then we had me. And I told him my whole dream was like Jim Carrey on In Living Color. Like that role is like built for me. Are you kidding me? And we had this whole idea for me to do this whole first 10 minutes of the hour episode is me, like, it's called Jay Kingsley on the Streets, but I'm more so joking. But like, they'll have 4 or 5 topics to talk about through the day. And then I'll have like a question from that branch, but try to make it funny. Like, like, so what were you wearing the night that you realized that you weren't going to matter? Like something like that.
So like on the actual street interviewing people?
Yeah, like real, like full out interview, just like, like everybody that does all those, TV shows and all that. So every segment was going to be 10 minutes of Jay Kingsley on the street. So I was going to have my own thing. And then literally I'm just the comedic role there. And then of course I'll show up on some of these panels that they'll have, and we'll talk about stuff. And it's about like, actually being okay, being a man, opening up and stuff like that. But also talking about like, trying to explain to women or any significant other that, how you're thinking, how you're feeling, this is what it is, this is how I was raised, maybe it doesn't work, all that stuff. So it was a great setup for it. And we started with Instagram, we had some interviews, some big interviews. I did a couple interviews where I put on some makeup myself, like doing a full makeup tutorial, doing a whole thing. And we had this setup with WGN to get a couple promos done, and we're set to shoot on March 19th of 2020.
Oh, day before the world shut down.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then we halted that to see what would happen, and then the whole world shut down.
Yeah, yeah.
And then after that, it was just, we tried a couple of things. We tried Muggsy Jeans. We tried doing a lot of stuff, and then it was just fizzled out. And then I came back to do Chicago Med. It was a core extra is what they called it. Which is you're there for every episode for continuity purposes. And then COVID vaccination stuff came out, and then that became a confusion thing because it was brand new. I still have the voicemails of 4 different people calling me. I have HR from NBC calling me, the PR, the PA, the personal assistant that's in charge of us, calling me. I have the COVID police on site calling me, and then I have the set guard calling me because I haven't checked in. I have them all calling me, telling me 4 different things, and there's 2 apiece saying come in, don't come in, but they're always canceling it out. Like HR, NBC is telling me to come in, but COVID on police on site, it's like, no, you're not coming. So then I had to wait the 30 days after I got the shot, came back, and then everyone's like, all right, go get your COVID little test for the day. I walk in, the nurses are like, did you get your second shot? I was like, got it yesterday. They're like, oh, well, we can't test you. You have to wait another 2 weeks. So then there's like a whole nother level to this. So then 2 weeks later, I get a phone call from the casting director, like, dude, why haven't you been here? I'm like, what the fuck do you mean why haven't I been? Has no one notified you how many levels of people?
They won't let me in. I tried.
I want to be there.
I'm outside.
Do you not understand this? My chair is still in the locker. So, and then I got to a point where, I was like, this is not going the right way. I also, the only couple of auditions I got offered for, it got stereotyped. obviously all the protests that happened and everything. It's a very touchy subject overall. But what ended up happening is that I got typecasted
As a black male.
as a black male, right?
Mhm.
Like I'm full of just Air Jordans and riots.
And they had to
Like
go black. They had blackface paint you.
Jay Kingsley
and
sounds like Denzel Washington, apparently.
similar, yeah.
Very close.
No, so what do you mean when they typecast you?
White Irish guy, we're gonna make you a cop that's gonna kill a black guy.
Oh,
The whole role, everything. Like you're the black guy, or you're a white guy that's in the wrong. You're the cop that's in the wrong, kind of thing. Oh, you're white and Irish, just like every cop that we're trying to depict here in this show or this movie. I'm like, and some of them aren't even like a role. It's like you're the cousin in the background cutting the cake. And I'm like, then why do I have to have dialogue here? Am I just cutting a cake? What makes it Irish that I cut a cake? I'm an Irish cop and I hate black people. Cake cut. Like how do I do that in one strike?
I believe that's how all the Irish cops speak
Well,
at
I
all
mean,
times.
Yeah, at all times. Like
Happy birthday, I'm racist.
happy birthday, I'm racist. Would you like a cut of cake? Not you. Like, so I got to the point where I just made the adult decision. I was like, you know what? We're going to take a little bit of a breather from this stuff, let it all clear out. We got to make some money because I was still living in mom's house. And I was like, I got to get out. I got to, I'm 33 years. Actually, at that time, I was 30. And I was like, I got to get it together. Blah, blah. It took me 3 years to get it together, but got it together, all that stuff. But my adult decision, funny enough, going from the acting world, my first adult decision was to become a manager at Hooters.
I mean, that's a good transition.
That was a great.
I mean, if you're going to manage,
the chicken was amazing.
that's what it was. That drove you there was that chicken, huh?
Actually, it was a salary, but the chicken was dope.
And so it was the money in the chicken,
Well, the chicken was free for me.
not the employees.
There were employees.
How dare you not think of them as employees?
My eyes were closed the whole time, sir.
They made me wear the same outfit.
My eyes were closed all the time. The chicken was amazing. That's all I have to say about that.
So how do you roll into the Batman? How'd you roll into getting to meet Keaton, right?
Yeah. So that was on the trial of Chicago 7. We did the 2-week shoot in Millennium Park, and we did the riot scenes, all that stuff, and like Free Tom Hardy and all this. And like I was working with Jeremy Strong, Eddie Redmayne, and Sacha Baron Cohen on these scenes. And it was a full-out riot thing. That these people are in the movies. It's an amazing movie overall. It's a Aaron Sorkinson movie. If you
Do I get to see you in it?
Oh yeah, I'm in it.
All right,
you
yeah,
can
I'm
see
gonna pick it out.
You can see me pumping my fist as the green guy. Yeah, green shirt guy.
Oh, green shirt guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
I
saw
thought,
your
I
face
was
there.
like Green Man.
Just-
Like they
just
just had
Green
some
Man,
random
just Philly,
green
like,
man
flip,
in the
flip,
riot.
Philadelphia.
Wait a minute. Is that Green
No,
Man?
I'm green shirt guy, clean shaven. My backstory was I was a All-American quarterback that tore his ACL and didn't make it to Ohio State, so I stayed at local college in Chicago. Yeah, and decided to
could see
jump in
that.
the riots.
I mean, you have to.
I crushed it.
You could throw a Molotov cocktail like a pro too, all American.
You can see me full pumping fist, like hour 30 into it when I'm coming down the sidewalk. I'm right there, full view.
So who was all? So you said Sacha Baron Cohen. Who was all in this movie?
So Sacha Baron Cohen, Jeremy Strong, Eddie Redmayne, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Michael Keaton are the big names.
Damn, that's a lot of big people though. And
Yeah.
did you get to meet like besides the?
Yeah, so like literally the whole number one rule on the whole thing, if you're an extra at all, you have basically no rights. Like you have no rights. Like if you talk to somebody, they will shoot you. Like
So what do you like? You can't talk. Oh, like the
so like
celebs,
I
you
can't like walk up to Sacha Baron Cohen. Or Jeremy Strong's a great example because he's a method actor, which is the first time I've ever seen this in real life. This guy straight up was playing his character from the movie. He was even offset. He was like, "Hey, cops!" He'd go off and smoke weed, and he'd yell at these kids. Were sitting eating a sandwich at lunch, and he got up. He's like, "Yeah, pigs! What? You can't just let people sit here." He just started yelling at them, and they all were like, "What's happening?" And like you see someone like just roll with it, but these kids have no idea to roll. He's like, "That's what I thought. You're gonna stay over there." Like I was like, "This is awesome! Oh my god!"
So you stayed in character the whole time.
The whole time it was awesome. But he also was straight up like whatever we were shooting, that's where his level was. So if it was like a chill night, he was very fun to talk to. If it was an agitated day, he was like, "You see any pigs around here? I'm ready to fuck some of them up." I'm like,
Man, that's crazy to me. Like a method like
Yeah.
used to stay. I mean,
it was real. Oh, it was real.
you think it helped somebody become like? I mean,
Well, I mean, it's all about what you're trying to portray, I guess. I mean, if you're gonna go into those huge like Ray Charles, like Jamie Foxx stuff, you got to learn how to play.
Yeah, I'd
the piano,
imagine.
you
So
gotta
yeah,
get
you'd
into
have
it,
to
you gotta
like
learn the mannerisms, you
be
gotta learn
blind all the time. So
yeah, you
you're
got to
not
figure
doing
out how to do that. You got to learn how to not look.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know how crazy that is? Can you imagine just being Jamie Foxx watching, like acting like that, and the whole time you're seeing just looking up the whole time? Like that's incredible to do.
Yeah.
But I don't know how he did any of that stuff at all. But that's
He's one of the anomalies. Like he's like a comedian, actor. He's got an Oscar. He's got a Grammy.
Yeah, what's it called? You got the 4 of them.
Yeah, because he got the Grammy with, was it T-Pain?
You got the Grammy, T-Pain.
T-Pain and Kanye, I think. And then
no, you got it with Kanye for
yep. He's just done all, and then he can
Oscar
sing. Like, he can
great.
sing, he can dance, he can act, he can do stand-up comedy.
Yeah,
like it's crazy. He's one of those anomalies.
Full thing. But that's so far beyond what I could even achieve if I tried that stuff. But that's where you're not allowed to talk to those people because that level exists.
Yeah.
Set. Not to mention the fact you can't, if they're trying to be in character, me coming up like, oh my God, it's Borat. Oh, like, oh shit.
I like
it. Like he'd probably be like, I'm trying to fucking work here. So I get it, but if the cool part is that if they talk to you, game on.
You're all set. So you're allowed to talk to them, as long as they make first contact.
That barrier is broken. Game on. Like Townsend on Empire, talked to him in the middle of a bar scene. Just like, can you believe it? Like, you know how many people here actually are bartenders and servers? I'm like, you know what? It's a weird thing because that's what I do. Like, oh, you're a server? I was like, no, I'm a realtor. He's like, what? Like it. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I don't know what you want me to say here. Caught that one. So
it was a good catch.
So then we're on the set of Trash Chicago 7, and we're shooting the riot scene in Millennium Park. And it's a 5-day shoot, maybe 6-day shoot. I got some on my sweater. The 6-day shoot.
You need a bib or something, man.
Dude, give me a fucking cup holder. So
I believe you could set it or use your hand.
It's so
maybe not.
far,
Yeah, maybe not
so
your hand.
far away.
You need like built into the things.
We'll do that thing. So we did the whole thing like tear gas and cops on the hills, and we're charging and all this stuff. I actually got belted in the face. It was hilarious because when the tear gas, they shot it in segments from all the angles. So, like, it's like the cops coming down the hill. Then we're coming up. Then we reset and we do it again. Then we reset and we do it again. They're shooting in different spots of it, right? And then now we're retaking, like, the battle climax part. And that took, like, a day and a half. It was nothing but smoke. Everyone running everywhere. People were getting trampled that weren't even supposed to be. Like, there's, like, real blood in some of those scenes. Like, some people were like, they're like, oh, no, we're going to let it ride. Yeah. Like, they had, like, people staged that they were, like, going to pan to that are, like, hit with a baton or something like that. But then there's, like, people in the background, like, you can see them, like, ah! Like,
they're just literally
like,
just beat up.
People just getting run over. I got elbowed in the face because they're, like, the guy told me, like, just run around in chaos. And, like, if you see a cop, like, pretend to fight him, right? I was like, all right. So I ran around full sprint, did like a full circle. I'm running through the smoke, like covering my face, like it's Platoon. Ah. So then I come up to this cop that's just like pushed someone to the ground. And I came up and I grabbed him, and he straight up just went like full, just right in my face. I was like, ah,
like, oh, I'm only an extra. I don't even think they cover me
I was
insurance.
like, dude, the camera's not even on us. What the fuck?
I just had to go pee.
You think they're going to see you in this?
You're selfish.
We know why we're here. The craft table.
What if you did get zoomed in and just you get blasted in the face?
So I was so excited when I watched the movie to see if that would happen. I got to zoom in more and more. I can piece it together, but there's no evidence of
too much smoke.
Blasted. But at this time, it's like day 4, and they reset a shot, and I just step off and I step away and I have a cigarette. And we're not allowed to have our phones on set, for leaking purposes and all that stuff. And of course, everybody had their phones anyway. But I didn't have mine because I actually was like, I don't really want to get kicked off that set because I know what would happen to me Like, I probably wouldn't even be the guy with my phone. I'd probably like roll in a scene and it'd fall out of my pocket. And they're like, get the fuck off the set. I'm like, nah, guys, it wasn't mine.
I don't know who's this. You take it.
But I'm my own back wallpaper. Fuck. Like, so I step off and I'm having my own cigarette, and I'm literally just like gapped out. Like, everyone's like, they're in their own clique. It's theater class is what it is. These are everyone in theater class. So they found their people over a 2-week shoot, and they're, in groups. And of course, the group I was a part of, I'm the only asshole having a cigarette. So I go over there. This is where the cigarette wins, by the way. I'm having a cigarette, and to my right is just this guy, sweater, hat. Like, it looks like your dad, like, just like at a soccer game that he doesn't want to be at. You know what I mean? Like, my grandkids are playing soccer today. And I look over and I'm staring at him. I'm like, no. I'm sitting there like now I'm just chiefing the cigarette because I'm starting to get nervous. And I look over. This is Michael Keaton that's here to watch this whole thing. He's just watching the scene go down because there's, explosions and tear gas. And everyone's like, ah! It's crazy. And I can only imagine what it's like to have that job where you're like, okay, I'm going to watch the car explosion today. I'm not even on set today. I'm going to watch Keanu Reeves do a flip. Like, you know what I mean? So I get it. I'm excited about it. I'm staring at him, and I'm just slowly stepping closer, just a little bit and a little bit. I'm like, there's no way this is Michael Keaton. There's no way this is Michael Keaton. There's no way. He's so little. There's no way this is Michael Keaton. And I'm looking again. He's probably like a good, I give it 15, 20 feet away from me. See, one, I do like that little turn, puff, drag, kind of like I'm looking around, but I'm walking towards him kind of thing. Don't even think he even realized I was even there or gave a shit. But I get close enough. I don't know the distance, probably like 10 feet, but I get close enough, and I'm looking at him, and I'm just staring at him like a side eye, but like, I want you to see my whole face, but I'm not showing you my whole, like, just, like, look at
You're
me.
creeping.
Look at me. And he looks up, he looks straight at me, he hits me with the eyebrows, and he's just, yeah. I was like in a matter of like 2 seconds in my head, that was a nanosecond in real time, I'm like, what the fuck do you do now? He said something to you, you're allowed to talk, the plan worked, good job, John. Oh shit, we forgot to respond. And then I just looked at him, I was like, can you say it? He goes, and he put his head down, he comes right back up with the harder eyebrows, and he goes, I'm Batman. And I just went, thank you. And I turned and I walked away, because I swear to God, it was the biggest erection I've ever had that quickly. I might have had 3 or 4 that just whipped through. But that, oh my God. Yeah, out of nowhere, that moment was a 20-second moment for me in my life. And just that moment, like, that's how crazy that shit is.
And that's awesome. I bet he went home and he's like, babe, you never guess what happened again on set. So I'm standing there and this guy's smoking. He must have thought he was 10 feet away, but he was right next to my ear. He starts gently licking my ear, and then he whispers, say it.
I hope that he watched that movie, and he saw me, green shirt pump in my face, like, honey, that's the guy. I told you, that's the guy that creeped on me.
You're in Keaton's living room.
That's that fucking guy. Oh my God, he was wearing a green shirt.
Oh my God, is that him? It's in the Keaton household tonight.
I'm going to find him.
All right, before we forget, Grandma's story.
Grandma's story, yeah.
Grandma's story.
So this is a story, a funny story for anybody that's dealt with any grandparents or anybody they know about Alzheimer's, dementia, forgetting who they were. It's tough to watch, all that jazz. Hope to God nobody ever gets it. So, but this is a true, to the word, verbatim story. So, I want to start out by betting you $10,000 that you cannot guess my grandmother's name. And no, this is not a trick question, because I doubt you've never heard this name before in your life.
I mean, well, first off, challenge accepted. I need a hint though, because it's just a random name. What about like, would if it starts with
J?
So just J, so is it a or a J sound? Okay, so J sound. Jamiroquai?
Close.
Okay.
Close. Now make it a little more Germanic Irish.
Jamiroquai! Nope, I just
Scottish.
screamed it. I just screamed it in Scottish.
Like,
I felt like I was going into war a little bit.
For Jamiroquai!
Yes, for freedom and Jamiroquai! I don't know, what is it? Hang on, let me, it's not hot. Nope, you said it's a J.
a month is in the name. One of the months is in the name.
Janubecky.
Close.
Januberta?
No.
Oh.
I'm lying. You're not close at all.
Oh, Junebug.
You're close.
Juntao.
You first of all, don't rush hour this
Oh,
shit.
well, I don't... Is it June?
It's June.
It's something crazy.
Junetta.
I would not have guessed Junetta, but I have heard Junetta. I worked at a retirement center.
No shit.
Yeah, dude, they were all had old names, dude.
First time I've ever heard Junetta in my life. But this is my grandmother. And
I like Janubecky better.
Janubecky, I mean, it's probably my grandfather's first wife. But he had a thing for months. Yeah. So, the calendar, man. Woo. So she, in all intents and purposes, she was walking her dog in our back alley at the house, at my mom's house now. And she fell and hit her head really hard. And like literally had a drill in her skull. And
shit.
Blood, a lot of brain damage. And it either aggravated her dementia or Alzheimer's, whichever one it was. All I know is that she couldn't remember who she was after it deteriorated quick. Actually, it probably like a good 5-6 years, and then it was just game over. But she was still around, and my grandfather put her into a nice home where they took care of her and all that, cleaned her up, everything, and she had a nice time. And he'd go visit her every day. He was a man of God, and he loved his wife. I think they were married 60 plus years, something like that. And I think she passed away when she was late 70s, I want to say. I don't really remember the age, but I do remember this story, and anyone of my family members that are ever going to listen to this podcast will tell you that this is the exact story that happened, because it's a family legacy of what happened here. So my grandmother's been in this home for probably a good 6-7 years at this point, and I never went to go see her or anything like that. Terrible grandson. But they live in Fort Wayne. I never really was in Fort Wayne. I also was too young to drive, all that fun stuff. And I got my license, so I think I was 18 or 19 at the time. And I was picking my sister up from the Fort Wayne airport. So I decided to drive in a good 3-4 hours earlier and stop in and see my grandfather. And came in, oh, Grandpa, how's it going? Oh, just doing our thing. And he goes, so we sit down, we talk for 2 seconds, and he's like, hey, you want to go see Grandma? And I'm like, do you what? No? Is that? No, I don't. Not at all.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Never liked her.
No, yeah, absolutely, Grandma. Let's go see her. So, all right, well, let's go see her. And we walk over there, or we didn't walk. We drove over there. As we're walking in, my grandfather had this tendency to give you the game plan in 2 seconds. And he walks away and you have 10, 15 questions about what the hell's about to happen here. There's one little story is that we were at a golf outing. Me and my brother stayed at my grandfather's house, drank heavily until 6 o'clock. Tea time's at 8:15 for this family outing that we're having in Fort Wayne. And we're staying at my grandfather's house. He wakes us up and he goes, it's 8:15. It's 8:15. He's going through quarter. Like, that's 8:15. Like, waking everybody up in his old FTL underwear that he's had since like 75. He's just, it's 8:15. He's screaming. And we're just like, Jesus. And he goes into his room, and it's like a Chris Farley moment with David Spade. He just walks out of his room. He's already in green.
Fully dressed.
He's like, all right, well, I'll see you guys at the course. We're like, wait, hold on, Grandpa. How do we get to the course? He's at the door. He's like, all right, see you there. And he closed the door. And we're like, all right, so the plan is get to the course. Where is it? Where are we going? How much time do we have? Like, it's so much going on. But that's how my grandfather explained things. So we're coming up to the nursing home. And we're walking up. It's just casual stroll, all that stuff. And he looks at me. He's like, all right, well, let me give you the rundown. She has no idea who she is. She has no idea who I am. I went, good start.
It seems like this is going well.
I highly doubt if I go through the run, she's not going to remember her daughter, her son, what their spouses are, not going to remember the kids, and obviously not the youngest kid. So obviously, like, all right, so I'm just going to go see Grandma for my sake at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. It's actually like an image I didn't want to have, where like your grandma stares at you and you're like, who are you? And you're like, we used to have some cool times.
Yeah, you used to know me.
Oh, that's sad.
You had my parents.
So I'm getting sadder about this whole situation. He's like, so what's going to happen is I'm going to walk in. She's going to be in a rocking chair. I'm going to walk up. I'm going to talk to her for a good 2-3 minutes. I'll wave you over. When it's okay for you to come over, you can say hi. I was like, okay. Now I'm just depressed. I'm like, oh, shit. Like, I walked in there, and it was like perfect rows of rocking chairs, and everyone's going at different speeds. And I'm like, oh. And the people don't even, like, people are just looking at shit. Like, it's just like, it's sad, right? So I'm like, I just wanted to see my grandfather. I didn't want to, like, it's selfish, of course. Like, of course, go see your grandmother, but like, you don't want to see that.
You don't want to see him in that state.
You know what I mean? So I see my grandfather. He's dropped down to his knee. He's trying to talk to her, and she's just like looking straight forward. She's like, okay, all that stuff. And I'm like, oh no. Like, she looks great, but I'm like, I'm going to hate this moment.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, well, you're 19. Time to man up. You got a car. Here we go. This is what Pop trains you for, bud. You're gonna be a man.
You ready, soldier?
You ready?
You ready?
You bottle those emotions up and never bring them up again.
That's the Edwards way.
Get the jar ready, motherfucker, because this thing's coming in hot.
You be a real Jonathan Joseph.
So you're being a real Jonathan Joseph, John Kingsley. You piece of shit. You limp dick fuck up.
Jesus. Took a turn.
Sorry, got into character.
So this isn't BetterHelp. Start crying.
I need some Benadryl for this Viagra, sir.
Well, that's probably herpes.
It does itch.
It's both.
Both herpes?
Yep.
Like,
I don't know if
like canker sore and balls?
Yep.
That's aggressive.
Yeah, and both of them are inflamed.
That sounds like a Freddie Mercury evening to me.
Well, it does.
Anyway, so my grandmother, we went from herpes to my grandmother.
Yeah.
So
we lose train of thought pretty quick.
That was quick. So my grandfather being so sweet, all this stuff, and he looks over at me, and I'm a good 75 yards away. This thing
75 yards?
Yeah, this thing's huge.
It's 75 yards, so you're a full...
Probably thousands of yards.
I was in Chicago.
It just felt that far. You know what I mean? It's probably a good 50 feet. But it just, like, I'm looking at all these white chairs, and there's like 5 rows of like 50 each, and I'm like, and they just place people here, and like, I was there when Roosevelt was there.
I mean, when you get to a certain level, you just want to rock.
I mean, I get it. And roll.
Yeah, when I turned 40, I just sat in this chair and rocked.
I respect that.
I'm retired.
I do have a chair too.
It is nothing better than just rocking.
Dude,
but
I got the Lazy Boy leather one. Anyway, Grandma.
Yeah, sorry.
so
I'll start talking about chairs for an hour.
So, Grandma. So, Grandpa waves me over, and I start walking over, and I'm starting to sweat my palms and all this stuff. I haven't seen her, literally had not seen her in a good 8-9 years.
Yeah.
And I'm walking up to her, and she looks great. And she's just straight blank face, just like looking forward. And he's on his knee. And he's trying to be all sweet introduction. He's like, Junetta, look who's here, Junetta. And she's just looking forward. And she goes, do you know who this is? And she like looks over at me. And all you saw was her face ignite into a smile and eyes. John! Yeah, that face you just made right there was my exact...
So she didn't know anybody in the family.
Fuck? Literally, I swear to God, no idea. She didn't even know. Her husband of 65 some odd years, no idea who this guy is. Sees me, that's John. Even my grandfather's on his knees still holding her hand. He's like, wait, you know who this is? She's like, of course. It's my grandson, John. How are you, honey? I was like, I'm doing great, Grandma. How are you? And I leaned in, gave her a kiss on the cheek, one of those shaky hugs, because this is some weird shit right now. You guys are fucking lying. Am I getting punked right now?
You waiting for the whole family to come out? Gotcha.
So I lean up. I'm like, I'm good. I'm up at South Bend still. I'm done with high school. I'm in college now. Like, I'm at Holy Cross. Like, how have you been? She goes, oh, I'm just here, rocking away. And like, full out Grandma. And I'm like, I'm losing my shit. Grandpa's losing his shit. He's confused as fuck. And this guy used to be a front gunner on a B-22 bomber. in World War II, right? This guy does not get shook. He's shook. He's sitting there going, how do you know who this is? Right? So you have the sentimental moment, right? Here's the kicker. Oh, how could I forget my gay grandson? Excuse me, what?
So you had to, at that point, go full gay for your grandma.
No. It's even worse than that. She straight up, the only thing that she could remember was that John, me, was her grandson, one of her grandchildren, just grandson. It's my grandson, John, but I'm the gay grandson, John. And I'm sitting there going, excuse me? And my grandfather just he looks back. You know, he had that look of shock the first time. He's like, holy shit. Like, my wife remembered you, but not me. You're gay?
So did she?
No, just it's completely out of nowhere, because the whole thing was I would do the acting stuff. Like, I would be flamboyant or wear a cape or like. Oh,
so the entire time she was your grandma, she thought you were gay. Is that what you're saying?
She had no idea that I was just a kid acting around, and she just whatever. I have no idea what the chemical balance, whatever thing. But whatever happened, she came to the conclusion of her not knowing herself, but I'm her gay grandson. Okay. So the story continues. Do you think that I ever wanted to tell anybody this story, especially my family?
Well, I mean, I feel like your grandpa would have told everybody anyway.
But grandpa did.
Yeah, I was about to say that's going right away.
He, like, you know those cut scenes where like something serious happens and it cuts to like the side panel of you in the car and he's just laughing at you? He literally was, oh my God. Oh my God, the only thing she knows is that you're gay?
And he keeps saying, they're like, I don't think that I'm gay.
I swear to God, he screamed it out of the car at a stoplight. He's like, officer, my wife, no idea who I am. This gay dude.
She remembers this queen.
She remembers this queen. Hey, you want me to play some ABBA for you real quick? Like, oh, it was a whole thing. So it just trickled so quickly to my family. And, of course, my siblings found out. And, of course, my oldest brother, Mike, found out. Well, unfortunately, about 3 years after that, my grandmother passed away peacefully, all that jazz. And the joke that kept running from that was every so often they'd bring up me just to see her face like, oh, where is he? Like, she was so excited that I was
on vacation
that
with his
I was
boyfriend.
the gay grandson. And I'm fairly certain that my Uncle John was probably like, well, him and Keith are doing great.
Yeah, he's just rubbing it in. Oh, they're getting real busy
Well,
on a cruise ship.
They adopted a Chinese one. They adopted like that's
They macrame sweaters together.
I mean, honestly, it's adorbs. It's totes adorbs. So we're at the funeral, and there's how many? There's a good nine of us grandkids that are her grandkids directly between my uncle and my mom, and so we're all the hucklebearers, right? So, well, that's a terrible term. We didn't kill her, but we carried the casket.
I was about to say, I think pallbearers is what they call them. Yeah.
So we, we're in the first pew with the families and all that stuff. My mom's side, my Uncle John's side's on the other side, and I think my cousin Johnny goes up and he starts giving his speech. He's the oldest of all of us, and he starts giving his eulogy speech, whatever you'd like to say. And as he's talking, it's, very quiet. It's this church that's down the street from my grandparents' house. It's where we always went for Christmas church and all that stuff. And she's right there in front of us. And it's Mike and myself. Mike's in the aisle. I'm right next to Mike. And then Grandma is literally 5 feet in front of us in a casket. And at this moment, salt wound, final turn, just the dagger of daggers on this story that's just been running forever. It's like at any time, even if I was writing an argument with my siblings, they would just end it with, yeah, well, Grandma knows you're gay. So
yeah, it doesn't matter what you say.
I'd lose this argument, even though I'm like, no, JFK was killed in Dealey Plaza. No, it was Dallas. No, Dealey Plaza's in Dallas. But Dealey Plaza is where it happened. Well, Grandma thought you were gay. So, well, fuck me. I guess he was killed in Nova Scotia.
I guess it happened.
So, we're sitting there and we're standing while Johnny gives his little speech. Well, not little speech, it was a great speech, but he's talking, and Mike and I are standing straight up, just restful, all that stuff. And then we sit down in the pew, everything creaks, dead silence while he's speaking. And as he speaks, the camera then focuses in on John and Mike. And it's straight up, there was no eye contact. It was, he's looking forward at Johnny, and I'm looking forward at Johnny, but there's a whole conversation happening. Mike goes, like I said, my family calls me Jack. Mike goes, Jack. No. If in this moment, I've learned from my brothers and my whole family, including my mother too, in a serious moment, if I'm not the one that's whispering and someone has to whisper something to me, there's going to be some weird shit that's about to be said. Like, I remember my brother Matt literally was like, I can't stop farting. And everyone behind us was like, it smells like shit in here. like, and that was like church mass. Like, of course. So I know that something's coming. And he goes, he bumps me. He's like, Jack. I'm like, what? He's like, hey. Didn't grandma think you were gay? I was like, yeah, she did. He goes, this grandma. It like looked at the coffin. It's like, this grandma? It's like, yeah. He goes, this grandma right here thought you were gay. It's like, yeah, Mike. He goes, so grandma died thinking you were gay. And I went, yes. And he just goes, awesome. And this is in the middle of the funeral.
You're just, and scene.
Yeah. Look, another Mike moment just like that, real quick, was I broke my leg, had to get surgery, broke my tibia, my fibia. They insert a rod, all that stuff. So I had to go into surgery for about 4 hours. And I'm at St. Joe, and like my mom's texting the group chat, like, we got 15 minutes, so he's going in. So Mary sends in a text like, hey bro, good luck with this. I know you'll be back on your feet in no time. My brother Matt, literally like, hey bro, I'll see you on the other side. We'll grab a beer. Chris is like, hey dog, you know what? It's only a moment. You'll figure it out. Nothing for Mike. Not a thing for Mike. To preface this, my brother Mike has one leg.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm getting surgery to fix my leg. Okay, so nothing for Mike.
You think he'd be the most supportive, like, hey, man.
No, you think he'd be like, hey, bro, at least you get yours back.
Yeah,
like,
he'd have something like, hey, man, it could be worse.
No. Oh, God, no. And this is on cue. They're like, okay, we're ready to go. And I have my Note 2 at the time. I'm staring at it, the group chat. I'm waiting for a text from Mike. I'm like, nothing. I'm literally like, put it down and just, as I'm like, they're like churning me to wheel out. I'm like, and I look at it. And it's not even in the group chat. It's a direct message from him. And it just says, hope you die.
Good Lord. What a supportive family during a time of need.
He didn't even put it in the group chat. He told me directly to me, I hope you die.
He didn't want everybody else knowing that was his intentions, but
that's my family. Yeah. So
I mean, hey, it could be worse, I guess.
So that's my grandma's story, is that my grandma had no idea who she was. The only thing she remembered is I was her gay grandson. And then at her funeral, my brother Mike decided to remind me that grandma did pass away, only knowing that I was the gay one.
Now, so you never saw her again after the original
her death? No.
No. After the original. I mean, I would hope not. But no, after the original That's McGay. Did you see her again?
No, I went back. I went back and saw her. I think one more time after that. The thing behind it was on an actual serious note is that like just my grandfather was a gem. And he was very, very devoted to everything. He loved his family, loved everything. It was a routine for him to wake up, maybe even do like a morning mass. He'd go to mass 2 or 3 times a week. And then he'd probably go play 9 holes of golf. And then he'd go bowling with Uncle John and all of their friends. And my grandfather was, I think, 87 when he shot a .299 bowling.
What?
Like, he's like a real deal. Like, he's really into this stuff. But but he's like the nerd grandpa that like did all the grandpa stuff, like the bowling, and his golf clubs were super flex, and his swing was old swing and all this stuff. And he's okay, well, see you later. Like he's the guy that like forgot to tell you he loved you. Like, all right, grandpa, going to bed. I love you. Okay, like that was him. Had a chair, everything, and it was just it sucked, just like seeing that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like there's a fear of losing stuff, and then there's a fear of like you can't even stop losing that stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just, I got to a point, like even when I was younger, and I'm still don't know how to handle my emotions today, but you get forgotten, and then the only thing that came out of it was this gay thing.
It seems like that hurt you a little bit.
No, the only reason why it hurt me was because of how high I was when she was lit up, and she was like, John, this is my grandson. Like I was like, holy shit, this bitch remembers me. Look at maybe I just fixed her brain. And she's like, the gay one. I'm like, no, she's broken still. Like,
you just leave going, man, do I gotta go gay?
No, that's you should get a different nursing home because this place is dog shit.
Yeah, listen, they keep thinking that I'm gay. Sir, you're wearing a mesh shirt. No, I just wondered if you went back and then she says, hey, this is my gay. Did you go, fuck it? Yeah, that's me.
It's called couture.
Yeah, like did you just eventually just go, fuck it, I'll just go in for her. Hey, just tie your shirt up maybe, or did you?
No, I tried, but it just
you tried to act more feminine, but she just knew. She looked right. She was
not about it.
Don't pretend. We know.
Look, I auditioned in front of her, and every time she told me I crushed it because she forgot my last performance, so it actually really built my confidence.
That's not bad.
Yeah. Not true, but
maybe not the smartest way to look at a career, but
that's why the same joke worked every time. Just these two muffins sitting in an oven, right?
It's just you are so funny.
You are crushing it,
especially for being a gay.
Yeah, my son, he's the homosexual.
He's the one that likes the cock. She said it differently. Your grandpa just goes, "Oh shit!" He's on the phone with your.
She was like she was the type of chick that like if she put a sweater in a shredder box. And like when I opened it up, she's like, "You got me a shredder." She's like, "Open it up. It's a sweater." She's like, "Shredder, sweater." I have the face for radio.
That's what they used to tell me.
Yeah, well,
they told me I had the body for a blind person. I don't know what that means.
I mean, I don't either. But
well, that's when we found a different church. What?
How is your dad?
He's good. He's still deacon out there at the Baptist church.
Oh yeah, the Deacon Baptist church. Yeah.
Oh, he's big in harmonicas now.
I love it.
He loves it. He'll get in there.
Would you say harmonicas?
Yep, like all of ours. Yep, there's a bunch of harmonicas, and we all hang out.
Ooh,
hey,
too soon?
No, not too soon. Sad to see. Sad to see.
That's
yeah,
sad.
I didn't know. My buddy sent me this thing about. Like in Matthew Ray's book, he was talking about obviously his drug usage and opioids. He spent like almost $6 million on opioids. And you think of like, God, that's so much. And then I looked, and what's crazy is like, I guess when he started, he was getting paid like $10,000 episode, which they still did like 18 episodes or something, which is still a lot of fucking money.
And then they had like $1 million an episode.
Yeah. Then they went to then it was like 3 seasons in, it started to get a little big. And then by the 5th and 6th season, they were all getting $1 million an episode.
I think he said something along the lines of, it's the whiskey. I think he said something along the lines of that he doesn't remember like seasons 3 through 5 because of how high he was the whole time.
Well, you could see like he changed like his body weight and everything else, and like he went from. It's crazy, but
I mean that's just the saddest part about like some of the funniest people.
Oh yeah, I like this stuff though. It's good. All whiskey makes. I guess everything makes me sweat.
Oh, Tullamore from the mountains of Tullamore.
Couple places. I was young. I'm talking like 15, 16. I was at Subway, and I could make a sandwich like phenomenal. Like they called us sandwich artists, and I was like, you know what? I can split this bread just right, ingredients just right. I could stack it up. Okay, but I worked at the one downtown South Bend. It's not even there anymore. It was the corporate office.
There's one there.
I don't know if it's the same building or not.
Is it right next to the shoe repair place?
It used to be next door to BW3's. That used to be there?
Yeah, not still there.
Okay, cool. Same, maybe. Yeah. So this was the corporate office. I didn't know. So here's what happens when you work at Subway in downtown. This is when the whole, eat Subway because it's safe. It's
for Jared.
Yeah, do what Jared says because he's doing things,
I went
right?
on a Subway diet like Jared. My neck does look like a vagina.
Like a vagina.
I do have a bit of excess skin. Though.
Yeah,
I don't want to scream into the mic. That's why I'm not doing the full sky. Go ahead.
No, I think you're as long as you're far back, you can. But
All right, fair enough.
no. So anyway, so I'm like, and then they put me on bagging. So when it got busy, so let me give you the walkthrough. So during the day, nothing from 9 to noon, nothing from 2 to close. From 12 to 2, the entire city of South Bend said, we have to go get our healthy Subway sandwiches.
Yeah, for Jared. Yeah.
And I'm sitting there in line, and I'm watching these cats not splitting bread right, not doing it right. They're not getting the motions down. You go chicken, you layer with the mayo, the mustard. You got to have emotion. You got to have emotion.
Why is it always 2 taps with the mayo? Can you just...
It's the easiest way, man. 2 taps to get you the right amount.
Yeah, but they hit me like 1, 2. I'm like, can you just swirl it a little bit?
Are you asking for more mayo?
No, I just...
Well, then don't ever knock my double tap, because that's how I get enough mayo as you want. If you want more mayo...
Jesus Christ, I didn't realize you were so
No,
religious about
you
your
got to
Subway.
double tap, go down back, double tap again, go down back.
I would like a chicken teriyaki on triple herb Italian, please.
Now, you want that roasted?
I would love it roasted.
Okay, because it's called toasted,
Can I
so
have
you're at the
some more
wrong
chicken
place.
now?
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh.
Calling my goddamn sandwiches
I'm going to
roasted.
Quiznos, you fuck.
Quiznos. Oh, remember the commercial with those weird little rat things?
Fucking
What
amazing.
a weird... Oh, anyway, sorry, before we get on the tangent about those. No, so I'm like sitting there, I'm like, they go, oh, we're busy. All right, Kyle, you're on bagging. I go, I'm like, that. I'm like, you got the dude over here with like just a claw as a hand, and like I'm on bagging.
Use my good hand.
I'm like,
not strong.
yeah, I'm like, what's going on here? So I eventually, I was like, this is not, I was like, you know what, I gotta be in sales or something. This is not for me. Keep in mind, at that point, I already gotten caught twice for making sandwiches, because again, it was a corporate office, and I'm sitting there, I'm making this fucking double-decker sandwich.
Oh, you got
right?
caught making a sandwich for yourself.
You're allowed to. You're allowed to have one sandwich per day.
You were indulging.
I made 12 different sandwiches in one. And I put this whole sandwich
you did
together.
that Scooby-Doo sandwich.
Dude, and they
with
were
the olive on top.
Dude, they're sitting in the back just watching me put this whole sandwich together. And right when I get all done, I see them come out the back, and they're like, "What's that?" I go, "Somebody called." Somebody called this in. He goes, "Yeah,
Yeah.
Do you have the order?" I go,
Yeah.
This is actually mine for lunch." He goes, "So what sandwich is that?" I go, It's all of them. I had meatballs, the big chicken patty. I had like everything, dude. It was like
it's
I was
all
gonna
of
eat,
them.
I was gonna eat half and then take the other half home for breakfast the next day. He's like, you can't do that. I was
it's
like,
all
okay. That was my first warning. Okay.
Oh, what
The next day, so boring because they would have me scheduled
Well, I'm gonna make another all-in-one sandwich.
from like 9 to 5. I'm like, all right, no more sandwiches, Kyle. But I'm bored, so I'm just going jalapeno, pop, a little pickle.
Oh, you're eating off the deal.
But I had my clean gloves on.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, but still, guys, he comes back. He goes, you can't just grab
You're cross-contaminating,
vegetables
Kyle.
and pop it in your mouth. You can't do that. I'm like, all right, you guys have a lot of rules here. It's like the next day I called my manager.
Why would I work at a food place if I can't eat the food?
So I called the manager the next day. I go, hey, it was payday, but I was like, hey, I'm not going to make it in. I'm pretty sick. I'm not going to make it in. Half hour later, I pull up my buddy's tracker. I jump out in my beach clothes to pick up my paycheck. I go, I need to get my paycheck. She goes, I'm in my little beach clothes. I go, oh yeah, also I quit or I'm fired, whatever you figure out later. I gotta go though.
You choose, but I want my check.
Yeah, I just gotta get that check because I gotta cash that because I gotta put gas in this tracker.
I have to go to a funeral.
Yes.
My grandmother thinks I'm gay, so here we are.
Oh, yeah, but the best job, well, the worst. I mean, Best Buy was good, but it got terrible because we had some new manager came in.
I got rejected twice by Best Buy.
Yeah, it was me both times, man.
No, it was
on your
not
resume.
you. It was not you. It might have been you, but
What year was this?
oh, this was it must have been 2020, so 2010.
Nope, 2009. I went to Sprint.
Yeah,
So I bet I knew who denied you. Was his name JC?
was.
Was his name Jason? Yep, I know him.
was.
Yep, I worked with him for
Yeah.
a decade.
I
He's
showed
still
up
there.
I showed up in a suit, and I had an interview in a little hidden room in between that little rack area where the clearance TVs are. Never got a call. I was like, seriously, for like $10.50 an hour, I can't be a cashier at Best Buy.
What did you do not to get JC to hire you?
I think I showed up in a suit. I think that was the problem. I had my hair slicked and everything.
I don't know.
I had some crazy sideburns at the time. So
Probably
I think
sideburns.
it's always the sideburns.
Dude, the worst was when you had like being I was like a 24-year-old like manager there, and you have these girls come in that wanted a job, and they would wear barely anything. And I'm trying to be, again, 24, single, in my prime, boozing all the time, really a big fan of females and what's attached to their body.
Yep.
And you have to sit there, and here's my thing. My buddy Blaine was the...
Blaine Rubel?
No. Oh. There's only 3 Blaines in town. I've heard that name. I don't know who he is, but I've heard that one before.
I love him.
But this guy, he would be like, oh, God, I got 10 new tan, like 19-year-old blonde girls we're going to hire. And I'm going... Cool, and I have to. He's like, yeah. I'm like, so I'm trying to get him. I'm trying to like. And do you know how hard it is to stay focused? Like when you're, it's like, okay, so what is it that made you not wear most of the top of your clothes? Like just titties out, like skirts, and then it'd be funny because then.
Do you know who you're talking to, by the way?
I know where you interviewed, but that's the thing. You would hope they would show up that way.
No.
For Hooters.
Oh my God, it was terrible.
For Hooters, at least you going in, you know what you're hiring. I'm going around the corner.
You hear how creepy this is? The interview process is as a manager male at Hooters.
Let me see more of those tits. Is that the first question?
It's legitimately, it's this. You walk in, you sit down, we talk about your experience, all that stuff. And then I go, okay, go put this outfit on real quick. They go on and put the Hooters outfit on. They come out, and I have to take a picture on my phone, front and back, front of them, and then I turn around, and then back of them, turn around, and then I send it to corporate. Which was a dude, who then sent it
sitting in his little cubicle beating up to it.
To then send it to the regional, that was a dude. To then send it to the head of it, that was a dude, for all these dudes to distinguish if that was a Hooters girl.
So basically, they probably all joked about, hey, man, so I took this picture to bed last night. I feel like that's the creepiest thing.
It's so terrible.
You have to escalate it through 10 people just to get Molly a job.
Well, even the handbook, remember the joke where it was like to work at Hooters, like you have to like stand against a wall was the joke. Like you have to have huge boobs.
What do you mean? What's the stand against the wall?
But like if you have to stand against the wall, and if your boobs touch before anything else does, you have big enough boobs to work at Hooters. That was the running joke.
Was that a real thing you did?
No.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, now that's the tit wall.
The handbook's even worse. Like I'm not going to go through it all, just because that's I don't want to get any legal trouble here. But
you're fine. We've got a.
You got people?
Nope.
All right. Well, then fuck it. So, literally everyday process, you have to literally line the girls up and do an attire check.
Oh, to make sure they didn't gain any weight or they're not like...
Literally, and that's... I'll get to the weight thing in a second. I literally have to tell you about your makeup, your hair, your pantyhose. I have to make you turn around. This is what the handbook says. I refuse to do any of this stuff.
That's creepy as fuck. Ladies, do a slow spin for me.
If there's like a big-ass rip in your pantyhose, I'm like, yeah, get some different pantyhose.
Well, or maybe you're in section 4.
But you know what? You're outside today. But it's December. Well, you should have dressed properly.
I know the guys that want you there at table 6.
The actual handbook does say, besides being pregnant, that you literally, if you're pregnant, you can't argue it by any means. But at Hooters, in a handbook, you can legitimately say, look, you've gained a little too much weight. You have 30 days to lose X amount of weight, or else you're fired. That's in the handbook.
I mean, I guess they sign up for it though. I mean, because it's kind of it's a job that you're performing. It is
legitimately all like presented, all out. They have to sign it. There's paperwork, all that stuff. But that's the whole thing. Is that's legitimately a thing. Obviously, I just sat there and I was like, look, your pantyhose. You look like Harley Quinn. Get some new pantyhose. But I'm not like, okay, let me see the seam.
All right, spin around.
Turn around. If you could, please bite your lip. What? So
took a turn. Now,
do you like blue cheese?
Where you want it at? I'm sorry. No, so to get back at it. So oldest woman you've had sex with?
Great story.
It's always I'm gonna test you because so far all of your stories have checked out. Okay, through family and whatnot. What do you got with the old woman? And don't tell me 96.
Actually, it's even funnier you say that.
Because she's outside in your car? You left her out there?
Yeah, she's been there for a while. So
her name's, was it June Becky?
That's my grandmother, so stop with June Becky. Whatever. I was 20 and she was 39.
Oh, that's a big gap. Nice.
And did you ever watch How I Met Your Mother?
Have I ever? Yes.
You remember Barney Stinson?
Yes.
Remember his limericks?
His what?
His limericks? His little, like,
That's a big word. I went to Adams.
his singing poems.
Oh, yeah. I'm in there.
All right. The stable, what was it? It had like a stable keeper or some joke. Like, you go there, you're so drunk, you just go over to this chick's house to sleep on her couch. Like the handmaid or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I wrote a whole thing about that night, if you'd like me to read it.
I think we're all here for this.
So what I'm about to read you is an Irish-style limerickly poem, like a leprechaun talking about his prom night, if you will.
Oh, a tale of love, if you will.
It's a flowing thing. Would you like the accent the whole time?
No, because then I'll get stuck in it for a couple days.
Well, I can write it the whole time if you
Were
like me
you
to.
or her Scottish?
No.
Okay, then just read it normal.
No.
Because you're going to make me think she's some Scottish whale.
So I want to preface this again, another true story. All right?
We'll see, because I'm going to call this one.
I hope to God she doesn't listen to this,
Well, she might.
because you can piece together the name. It's
Oh,
This
this is a local Betty, huh?
no, she's not a local Betty.
Oh, all right.
She was here for a bit, and she's probably pretty popular.
She faded
in-
away
in-
like
in
the
other
sun.
words,
You know.
All right. So here's my little limerick poem of me when I was 20 with a 39-year-old.
Just say 40, but I get it.
No, she's 39. I got to play the rules right.
You got to lay the pipe before she
20
turned
to
40.
39 is different than 20 to 40. All right.
Well, it's similar, mouth.
Well, math is math, but here we are.
The most blanket statement ever. That's how you get somebody to shut up. Well, yes, your parents died, but here we are.
Well, you look at that. Your dad got shot. You're Batman. Here we are.
Your biggest fear will be your strength. Just deal with it.
Oh, what a nightmare, New Orleans, Katrina. I get it.
All right, please proceed.
All right.
So you wrote this. Holy shit!
Yeah.
You wrote this when you were 20
So I wrote this
after laying the pipe on a 39-year-old.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I just I didn't like how you said that. But yes.
After what? Well,
This was written on June 22nd of 2011.
okay,
You can see it right there. Confirmation.
I see it.
Can you verbal confirmation that you see it? Top right, the date.
Oh, I do see it. Yep.
Yep. Okay. This is real. All right. So, I just deleted it. What the fuck? So,
As
all
I
right.
laid my pipe upon your
All
chest.
right, let me grab my tiller.
Get it. And if it makes it easier for you in an accent, you can, because I want you to understand that 12 years ago you wrote this.
I did write it with an accent, I'm not going to lie. But I'll just read it.
Okay.
All right. 'Twas Monday to the 20th.
No, I need the accent.
That's right.
Right
See?
away when the twas.
Yeah.
You started with
Did
twas.
you see me look right at you?
The twas
Yeah,
got me.
I told you.
I wanted you to go twas. I was waiting for it.
'Twas
Yeah.
'Twas Monday the 20th in the warmth of June. No distraction in the sky, only the moon. I was drinking after work at O'Rourke's public house when I noticed a blonde with a half-button blouse. I duggied through the crowd and across the dance floor. She was talking to a man, but I knew she wanted more. I straddled a bar stool and I pulled her in tight. I said, "Who would you be on this summer night?" She I can't even.
She responded.
No, it's so funny. I'm sorry. All right.
Keep it going. I got you.
And I
I'm in here.
pulled her in tight. I asked, "Who would you be on this summer night?" She responded with a smile and a wink of her eye. She said, "I'm Jenny, and you're a cute-looking guy." She offered me a drink, so I chugged my cold beer. My confidence this night did not know fear. She asked politely, "How old do I look?" I said, "Maybe 30, judging by the book." She giggled and smiled and came in closer. She said, "I'm 37. Is that kosher?" I reacted in shock, but my mind formed a plan. I turned on my charm because I'm the man. She said I'm a vet, you can call me a doctor. This game was on, as if that was a shocker. We finished our drinks and waddled to her room. I knew my future and it had no doom. We raced up the stairs and found her room key. Before we were in, she was down on one knee. I don't do this often, she said with a smirk. My face was stone cold, but my mind did the jerk. The shower turned on and the clothes were a flang. As soon as I touched her, she did nothing but sang. The night went on until about 6:01. 3 hours of this, and now I was done. She fell asleep from the youth I possessed, but the last thing she said was, I'm impressed. I put on my clothes and left just like that. I should be in the circus, for I tamed this mountain cat. I accomplished my mission and disproved the cougar myth. Thus ends my story of Dr. Sexsmith.
Oh, so she was a doctor.
Yeah, she was a vet. Yeah.
Not bad, not bad. Yeah, I feel like cheers.
Yeah.
Maybe don't, tell girls that you wrote things about them after. Did you tell her, or you just wrote that on your own? I feel like you try. I feel like you said it was email. I feel like you emailed this 39-year-old woman that, but in the subject field, please read this in the Irish accent.
So 21-year-old John was like, Barney Stinson, yeah. 33-year-old John's like, man, you wrote a fucking story about it?
Well, hey, thankfully, no one will ever hear about that story.
Here we are.
KQ show.
Math is math.
Hey, listen. sometimes you carry the one. Sometimes the one carries you.
See, but that was my poem. You can delete that if you'd like.
Not even a little bit. There is not even a small chance
that's
that one's
pretty good. 21-year-old John.
It might just start
just
with that. Just you
show.
Reading a sonnet.
Welcome to the KQ show. Plus Monday the 20th.
Not even that. Just right away. Just right away.
Fade in.
Yeah, just fade in. Just maybe add some. What's that old boat song everybody's singing on TikTok? Just have that in the background, real low, like you're coming in from the seas. I'm coming in to Tamia for a weekend, and I'm back on the seas.
Oh, that's KJ Quick.
I'm like a mutt. I just throw all of it together, and I don't know why. I think I have like audible, like I have like audible Tourette's.
I call it chameleon.
It is. It was the worst.
So like straight up out of Jersey stuff. If you had me at a Philadelphia or Jersey, I start dropping everything a little bit. Hey, the water
country.
I'm like, oh,
right away. I'm all y'all. I'll throw y'all in there immediately.
Like for no reason. Chicago. That's the only word I do in Chicago voice.
You almost throw a W on it after the A.
Oh yeah, Chicago.
Yeah, so Wizzy does that. He's like, hey man, I'm about to go to Chicago. I'm like, oh yeah? Chicago with a W, huh?
I just said Chicago.
But it's weird because I guess you're not from.
No, I got the O though.
Yeah, you're not from. You're not.
No, I do the O. The O.
Chicago.
Oh, no, somebody walked in front of. Oh, sorry. Like I do that.
That's a Midwest. Oh, that's Kansas. That's allowed.
Sorry.
Now you're born in Kansas. That's a Midwest.
Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to scare you there.
Oh, I'm gonna sneak by you.
Oh, hey, let me sneak by you and get the ranch there.
Let me sneak. Let me sneak. I say the oop. Let me sneak by you all the time, dude.
Oh, sorry, bud.
Oop, I'm a scooch. I say scooch. I say sneak.
Oop, sorry, bud. That's combination.
That's Canadian right there.
Oops, sorry, bud.
The bud thing. Oh, sorry, bud. That's Canadian. And you threw a little Canadian on there. Wisconsin Canadian.
Well, you got me in Nova Scotia.
Well, see, you just randomly changing.
Sorry.
No, in Canada. Oops, sorry, bud. Like, wait a minute. What?
I'm literally just like, oh, sorry, bud.
Like in
sorry, bud.
Super Troopers 2, when they're doing that accent, they're like, happiness is in your asshole. Like, wait, what?
We would like to see your party papers.
Yes. What are you saying?
Do you have your papers?
And then he goes, what did you think I said?
On his way, the asshole.
He said, we thought you said a penis.
The feather duster.
Yes. Asshole. Like home, your home, your house.
Your home, you live.
Dude, that was the only funny part of Super Troopers 2.
Yeah, that's terrible.
The only one, that whole scene.
Super Troopers 1, amazing.
Oh my god, dude! Just so like I put, we'll do this. We're gonna rotate into this because I do this. Everybody's like, oh, desert island movies. It's been done, but you are on a desert island for a year, a whole fucking year, right?
Yeah.
And you have weird enough just a TV and a DVD player. So you can only bring, and those are the only things you can power. Don't ask me why.
On
There's a power
sand
cable for
island
those.
with DVDs. Those are going to get scratched in a heartbeat. All right, go ahead.
Got to keep them in their case. You got to keep them in their case. Anyway, so you have to pick 3 movies.
3 movies.
But you're there for a whole fucking year. All you can do is watch those 3 movies.
Yeah.
What 3 movies are you picking, Mr. Kingsley?
Ooh. Gladiator, Boondock Saints, and there's so many fucking funny movies out there.
Yeah, you're trying. I feel like the last one's got to be a comedy. You're rotating in.
Well, yeah, like I think Gladiator is one of the best movies I've ever seen.
It is. The
more that I watch it, the more the more that I understand it as I go. Boondock Saints is just hitting home.
Yeah, that was it.
That James Bond shit doesn't happen. Oh, we just fell out of the fucking roof like James Bond. Name one stupid fucking reason you have the fucking rope.
He was a big fucking guy.
Like that's how big? Like 200, 300 pounds. That's not that big.
Get your fucking rope. Best quote in the fuck. And then it ends up happening when he falls. He goes, fucking rope.
Name one stupid fucking reason you need a rope for.
Get your fucking rope.
That James Bond shit doesn't happen. Like that, the whole thing.
He's like, so big fat guy theory.
I think
William Dafoe being gay but not gay. That
like
scene,
badass
like,
gay.
when he's like, get off, like that, crazy. Like he's such a good actor.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Boondock Saints is amazing. Comedy wise, I have to have a comedy, and I think it's gonna be Blazing Saddles.
Nice. What shocked me is, first off, I made a joke several times. So you're 7 years younger than me.
Yeah.
And the joke, did you say Abe Lincoln? I say that many times.
Yeah.
Nobody under my age ever understands what I'm saying. Yeah. It basically just sounds like I'm a weirdo saying, and then I just said it. I say it all the time. Then you go, no, I said, hey, Blinken. I go, wait the fucking minute. How do you? That's good.
Yeah. So no, I'm well referenced in the art of the comedy,
especially of the Mel.
Mm-hmm. If there's any person that I could ever just have a 10-minute conversation with, it's Mel Brooks. I wouldn't even say a word. I would just let him talk for 10 minutes.
So if you're at a dinner table, you have to have 3 guests, alive or dead. Mel Brooks is one. Who are the other 2?
Yeah, it's Mel Brooks. It's going to be, oh, man. Wasn't ready for that one. Mel Brooks, Gene Wilder.
Nice.
And then Frank Sinatra.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a good big-ass table.
Yeah.
See, I'd have to go. Man, I mean, I'd like to know what the conversation is, but I would love to sit down and talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson about fucking anything. He has changed the way I think. I'm a dumb person when it comes to.
He sums it up, doesn't he?
I'm very I'm ignorant.
I'm pretty sure we're on the same page.
I'm very ignorant to politics, to geography, to a lot of stuff because I don't.
Why'd you say geography? Like flat Earth shit, or
no, just geography. The last time I ever studied or thought about geography, 5th fucking grade. Oh, yeah. You could tell me a state on the map, I might not be able to find it.
Okay, no, when you just said like geography, like
politics,
politics, I'm on board with, but geography. You said geography, I'm like, okay, I got to make sure it's not flat Earth shit.
Kingsley, 2 years ago, I found out the Upper Peninsula was not attached to Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah, just found that out 2 years ago. I just thought people kept talking about Upper P. I'm like, oh, you mean the top of Michigan? Cool.
You ever heard of the bridge?
I live in the Upper P of Indiana.
The Ooper?
Didn't think.
Oh, you're not from the Ooper?
Never heard about any of that stuff up there. I kept thinking Upper P was just like a part that wasn't.
You never been to Mackinac at all? Any of the Mackinacs?
No.
Dude, you got to check it out this summer.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
4th of July shit's awesome.
That's what they say.
Long drive.
Yeah. Oh, say it again. So,
to be an Irish Guard, Notre Dame.
Like, so describe what an Irish Guard is.
The Irish Guard are those guys in the red kilt with the red jackets with the kilts and the hats and the black hats.
They do nothing.
No, they're like dancers for the band.
They don't play an instrument or sing.
They're
or
way
talk
better than
or...
flag girls, but they're flag girls.
Okay.
But,
Flag
but
gentlemen.
but it's a full tradition for
Flagettes?
Well, I don't know how.
Flag it? Nope, that's too close. That's too close.
You're getting really
Well,
close. And that is.
You can say it because there's an L in there.
There's an L.
But maybe we don't use that word.
So it's an Irish tradition for these like war dances.
Oh, I got you.
Right?
I got you. I'm in there.
And that's their mascot, and it's called the Irish Guard. It's like the King's Guard for
yeah.
England.
No, I got you. I know.
It's the Irish Guard, and these guys wear the big
big stock hats. Yep.
And they do these dances and dam shabuas, and they're part of the marching and all that stuff. I knew all of it all. I knew it every dance. I know everything. I wasn't tall enough, right? So I got rejected.
You were too tall to be a guard.
No, I wasn't tall enough.
You're too short to be, but you're.
But then I was too tall to be a leprechaun.
Yeah, you're way too tall.
I mean, I walked in and I was like, no, I can't do a fucking flip. And they're like, I mean,
you should have tried it.
Like, no, right there, just. Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville. This is me trying to be a leprechaun.
Flipping, just laying on your face.
Full leprechaun.
And then you get up. Hi, that's not how it should have been.
Oh, you made potatoes.
Oh, I smashed me potatoes. Let me play in your football game.
I was wondering if we had baked or mashed.
Oh, throw it in the penis.
So I was too tall to be a leprechaun, and I was too short to be the Irish Guard.
Oh,
I was completely unathletic enough to be on the team. So
you want to be Pat McAfee?
Why would you bring his name into this conversation?
Because I think he's a
that man stole my job.
He is my motivation, mostly for...
I want to be him so bad.
Dude, everybody does. Are you kidding me? Look at me. Everything in my life was like, wow.
I got to tell you, for the last 33 years of my life, I wanted to be David Beckham.
Oh, I don't want to run that much. Oh, that's so much running.
Posh Spice?
I would have picked the other horror ones. I would have picked Baby Spice, could ride like a champ. Posh Spice is boring in the sack.
Posh Spice.
Boring.
Posh Spice.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, if she let me lay on top of her and thrust while she was, a starfish, I would do it. But give me Baby Spice. Or even Ginger that was in Playboy. Think about sexually, you're picking Posh, the one that goes, I'm not going to get dirty.
That's the one that does the freakiest shit.
No, I don't want my makeup
You think
everywhere.
Scary Spice is the one that does the freakiest shit?
Baby Spice.
Oh, babe. Well, I don't like it.
I don't
like that you say it like that.
What's her name? Well, I didn't say, I added Spice.
You said baby like, you like bit your lip when you said it.
Listen.
Baby.
It's a wee baby.
Get in my belly.
Yeah, but listen, we're at the moment where we got to say our goodbyes.
Well,
is there any shout outs you'd like to say, and then tell them what you're doing and what's happening?
Biggest one I got is the Kind Like Joey Foundation for anybody that's lost a child and or sibling. Check it out on Facebook. It actually helps you out with any options for therapy and whatnot. We're chill about it all.
Yeah, send me the link. I'll add it to the thing.
Well, I'm not the spokesperson for it, but
whatever link that they could donate. Yeah.
But I will definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Either way, that's all I got for that one. Shout out to my mom, because I know she'll listen to all of this forever.
Listen, everybody, I'm glad everybody listened to this journey of a show. It's the KQ show. I'm wearing the shirt. I'll show you guys in the picture. I'm mashing this into the mic like you can hear the shirt.
I mean, it's there.
It is. Yeah. Anyway, thank you again for listening to episode 31 that we've recorded twice. Me and Mr. Kingsley here.
The albino possum.
Yep. And the outro is just saying the most random accent you can. Go.
I was wondering if this show would ever be popular or not. But it's just business, right? It's all right. So I'm done here. Fuck off.
Anyway, again, hey, thank you again for listening to the KQ show.